Well, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. We are back with a very special guest today, Paul Guyette. Welcome, good sir.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Good. Less tired. I woke up and had. I've been doing the voice for this Eversource. They're this northeastern power company thing, and I've been working with them for years. And I did. The copy itself is so dry and dull, but I've been working with the people for so many years. It's one of those things that, like, if they ever hit record in between takes, we would all immediately lose our jobs.
Oh my goodness.
I see, yeah. Got to be careful.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Paul Guyette is an incredible voice actor and actor that with a beautiful voice that you guys would know from a few places in ESO and of course many other games. So
I actually brought the list. I think this is all the ones. No, I know. You know what? I am missing a couple, but yeah, my ESO characters. So if we want to, at some point, because there's some that people. Well, I guarantee there's some that people are like, I don't know who that is, and then there's people who are like, no way, and then there's people who are like, okay, I believe that. It's gonna run the gamut from shocked to, yeah.
I was going through IMDb, and there's not everything is listed there.
Not everything is listed. Yeah. Everybody out there, you'd be surprised to know how unprofessional at times IMDb is. Like, I don't know if they ever removed it, but my very first credit on IMDb is as I think I was a writer for 8 Crazy Nights, the animated Adam Sandler film.
Right.
When I was 11 years old. So didn't work on that. And there are no other Paul Guyettes on IMDb. So no clue who that is, but
yeah.
Yeah, I listened to a film podcast where one of the hosts is always bitching that he trusts IMDb when they're recording the podcast, and then you get a bunch of tweets later saying, well, that's wrong. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? So, yeah.
I had such a stupid thing. So JB Blanc, a friend, a director, a voice actor, a colleague of mine, fantastic guy. He's in everything. It was posted on IMDb that he was the merchant in the Resident Evil 4 remake. So the day before it dropped, because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, I texted him and I'm like, I can't wait to buy weapons from you. And he sent back, you're going to have to help me out, mate. And I thought he was saying, as the merchant, like, oh, you're going to have to do stuff for me in the game. And I was like, oh, I'm so fucking excited. And he was like, no, seriously, you're going to have to help me out. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And I was like, Resident Evil 4. And he's like, I'm not in that. And I'm like, are you such a big voice actor that you forgot you're in Resident Evil 4? And then he's like, no, seriously, I'm not in that. And he is not in that. So IMDb can be wrong. But it led to just imagine out of nowhere, me being like, I can't wait to buy weapons from you. Like, that's weird. That's a weird thing. Even in this industry, even one actor to another, that's legitimately strange. So.
I'm just testing the audio, and I suddenly realized I had it muted. Would you mind just saying something?
Something. Talking. Much talking. All the time. Can't stop talking. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Yeah, no, that's just me being special. I was testing it with the window muted, obviously, because
you freaked me out there, Maya.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is why when I stream, like, people every once in a while are like, oh, you should, there's overlays and there's I have 3 goddamn things open. If I have one more that are just one more thing, that will stop working. And then instead of having to, struggle through 3 things, I'm struggling through 4 things. And, oh, don't forget the app that makes fart noises. Where's that? Oh, your fart app isn't working. So, shut it down. But, yeah. So people who, like, stream professionally, that is so courageous of you and exhausting. So, cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, we have a wonderful chat who's on. I was like, hey, am I supposed to be hearing something? I don't want to be a dick, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah, wrong screen, dickhead. Yeah.
We should have just trolled him the entire time. It's like, obviously there's something wrong with your computer, and then stayed silent for 3 hours.
Well, no, that would defeat the object. We are here.
Oh yeah, but that's dedication to the bit. Yeah,
Yeah, we are here
Horrible.
to hear from you in every sense of that word. So yeah, I mean, this is part of the Writhing Raid Train. There's this big event going on in the Elder Scrolls Online, and thank you so much for being so generous with your time coming to talk to us and help us raise a little bit of money for the American Heart Association. This part of the campaign has already raised over $4,000, right, Maya?
Nice.
Yep.
Let's see if we can't get a little bit more in the next couple of hours, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be raided shortly, so the audience is only going to get bigger. But where do you want to start us off, Maya? Should we start with ESO characters?
Yeah, let's get started with ESO characters, and then we can broaden it.
Yeah. You're about to show up on stream as the Ascendant Lord, I believe.
But where are the delegates?
Apologies.
Not right here, but
We lost our charges.
Zaji, it's not all right.
Not to spoil a reunion, but we're about to get company.
Jakan, free the captains. Friend.
Yeah, this was the Ascendant Lord was the first time I got to work with Bethesda. I don't know, should I do like a running, like, should this be like a VH1 Storytellers?
yes,
like,
please.
Yes, please.
Okay. I don't have an acoustic guitar, so just pretend that I'm just tuning an acoustic guitar while we're talking. So in 2021, I moved from New York City, where I was born and raised, to upstate New York, because in March 2020, the entire industry went remote.
Yep.
And there was panic for like a week, and then it was like, this has kind of been remote since it started, because you could have, the clients in Italy, the directors in Britain, recording artists in New York, and you could just, you patch it together. So when it looked like it wasn't just going to be quarantining for 2 weeks, my job went remote almost immediately. My wife's job went remote almost immediately. And it was like, okay, I'm recording in my bedroom now. So I had a studio mic, but just an apartment. So like a truck would go by and vibrate the walls. In the summer, you have these ice cream trucks that would just like chisels in your brain, just like that repetitive, and it's the most joyless thing in the world to have the thought of opening a window and yelling at an ice cream man, like, go away.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then in the winter, there's, it was an older building, so there's pipes and stuff. So we were like, we're going to move out of the city. And eventually we did. And she moved up about 3 months early to sort of get some stuff ready. And I stayed in the city because I was just recording from my living room, which it turned out was actually okay if it was something with like a music bed and you just kind of hold for the truck. And then engineers are wizards, they will take out airplanes and subways and all these noises. So it was actually going okay. Right before the move, I get an audition from Bethesda, and I'm like, ooh, I know who they are. That's great. Fallout is one of my favorite series. And it was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, and it was like, this is really, really great. And I recorded it, and didn't hear anything back, because sometimes that's the way it works. You do an audition, and then weeks or months later, it'll be like, you know that thing? And you'll be like, no. And then they'll say, well, you booked it. So I was maybe a day or two in the new house. I didn't have anything set up. At this point, hang on, I'll show you. I'm a big, strong voice actor, and that's my booth.
There we go.
That is actually, that came
Hell yeah.
in like June of 2022. But before that, I was in the guest room, and what we did was, I got an email from Bethesda, and they were like, hey, we want to book you for this Ascendant Lord character in a couple weeks, but we need to do like an audio test right now of your, of what you're recording at. And it was like, shit. So my wife is so smart and brilliant and amazing and attractive, and I came to her just screaming like I had cut my hands off. And she's like, don't worry. So that evening, we ran out to a couple different places. We got a massive roll of something called rock wool, which is a sound dampening and fire retardant material.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we went to Michael's or Joanne Fabric. Joanne, yeah, one of those places. I picked the most unicorn pattern that I could. So we had a night sky and a unicorn, and then we basically made 8 panels. We stapled the rock wool to poster board, wrapped it in felt, and literally gorilla taped that like 8 panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that was my booth, my studio, for about a year. And that was what I recorded my sample on. And I sent it in and I'm like, oh, well, that's the end of my career. And they were like, this sounds fantastic. And I'm like, good, it's professional. Please don't ask any follow-up questions. So the whole time I was just terrified that I would, screw this up. And that's the thing. Acting is so hard without having to worry if your studio is going to fall off the ceiling because the Gorilla Tape wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
So that, that stress was kind of floating around in the back. But yeah, once it didn't, the first session is actually something that I do have all of my ESO sessions recorded, and I didn't want to send this to you guys just in case, but we recorded a full monologue as the Ascendant Lord for the first High Isle trailer. And so I was actually on Twitch when Bethesda said, hey, we're doing the ESO High Isle reveal. And I was sitting there and watching it, and I was so excited. And I was like, okay, this looks like the trailer. And no one was talking. And they continued not to talk. And then the logo came up, and I was like, am I not in the game? Because to be a good actor, in my opinion, I am just one actor, you need a 50-50 blend of swaggering overconfidence and crippling self-doubt. Otherwise, the ego gets too big, and you turn into one of these actors who's like, I'm not getting out of bed for less than $100,000 an hour. So even if you record something and you sign that contract, you're not in anything until it's out. Yeah. And you hear it or see it. So it's like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, I was going to be in Bethesda, I'm not in Bethesda. Turns out they just didn't want to have the Ascendant Lord show up in the trailer. But I still have all that. And it sounded so good. It sounded so good. And I hope someday they'll let me, I don't know, give it to someone and they can like edit it back into the trailer, because the trailer
we'll do it
cool,
for them.
But that's the thing, like, and it's like, if I send this, will I get in trouble? Because like the things I sent you, those are all out and released and done, but that was never officially released. And it's like, I'd like to continue working with Bethesda, so I'm gonna try not to, breach contract as much as I'd love to.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna ask, are you 100% sure that never appeared? Because I do remember a later trailer. I think it was like a launch trailer, so it was much later. And I do seem to remember the Ascendant Lord is talking about the, it's the day of reckoning for all these,
If someone can find that, because I remember I was watching the Twitch reveal, and I could literally like read along to what was happening.
Wow.
So the one I'm talking about at the very end, the Ascendant Lord, like everybody comes into the room and they see him and he sees them and he like puts his sword in the ground.
Yeah.
That's
cinematic.
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was no, the cinematic, yeah, but there was no VO at all. I think maybe at the end. Oh, I think there was one where they had like a narrator, but there was one that was supposed to be the Ascendant Lord narrating the whole thing. So there might have been, but that'd be really cool, actually, if I could track it down.
But yeah, you're right. The cinematic definitely. One of the things which I guess maybe you wouldn't have been aware of is that all of those cinematics that they've done, I think, with Blur Studio, who do a lot of these things, and who did that show for Amazon recently, Secret Level, was it called? It was a bunch of video game themed animated episodes that went after the other.
Yeah, I've heard
Same
of that. I
studio,
have not
yeah.
seen that though. Nice.
I watched some of them. Some of them were bizarre. The Space Marine one was cool. Great voice
heard
acting in
weird,
that,
yeah.
as you can imagine, right?
Oh yeah.
But all of those, the protagonists
Maya.
are always the protagonists are always silent. They will grunt and there'll be battle noises and shouts and whatnot. But I don't recall a single line of dialogue in those.
Interesting.
So maybe they decided we've got this very cool character, but then they rode back on the idea at the last minute. Let's keep
And they
it the way
wanted
it
the
is.
reveal to be in the. I don't know. I mean, again, there's so many. Unless you're an actor like Robert Downey Jr., who's also a producer and blah blah blah. I don't have any final say because obviously my opinion would be me doing all the voices.
Every single voice.
Yeah.
every single voice, and it would be a nightmare for everybody except for me and my ego, and I'd wrap it around me like a blanket. But yeah, so yeah.
I gotta say though,
That's
we'll
brilliant.
talk more about Zorin a little bit later. But
I'm just starting, getting images like talking to any NPC, fisherman, merchant, and it's just Paul. Hey, Paul.
Well, there was actually, so I have a few friends, and I didn't know this until it happened. I booked something for World of Warcraft for Shadowlands, and I was 3 characters. I was Droman Krelnor, who was sort of like a minotaur. I was, no, not a minotaur, a centaur. You don't want to mix those two up. He was a centaur. Nalthor the Rhymebinder, who was a dungeon lich. He was a lich king or something. Total dick. I remember people really hating that fight, but apparently it was good loot. And at first, I was a wingless Kyrian aspirant. But when it first dropped, before they had patched it, I was every wingless Kyrian aspirant. So you'd enter this area and it would be me. And it was, yeah. So I didn't know this. So my friend is one of those like 12:01 a.m. I'm playing the new thing. And he was like, you are everyone. I'm not kidding. You are every single person in this like intro area. So again, my ego was like, that's great. But as a gamer, because I've been a gamer since I was 6 years old, as a gamer, I would be so angry if I was like, I paid for this, you lazy bastards. Who is this asshole who's everybody? So it's always kind of, a sense of, just tearing apart of ego and gamer. So
yeah, strikes and gutters.
Well, welcome in, Raiders. You are joining us for a very special, stream on this Writhing Raid Train with Paul Gayet as our guest today, talking voice acting, gaming, and probably everything in between. And we are on High Isle because one of the characters that he voiced in this game is the Ascendant Lord.
Yeah, welcome on in. Thank you so much, Astro. How was your stream? This is the part of the raid train where we get, raided by the previous station, and we continue the ride on. So thank you so much, Astro. I hope you had an awesome one. Moin moin. Guten Abend, everyone. And let me introduce you to Paul Gayet right here.
Delightful.
actually, so I have a question for people who just came in. The whole thing with the audition for Lord Bacaro and the Ascendant Lord was that they wanted one actor to play 2 distinct characters. Was anybody fooled, or was it obvious, like the moment you met Lord Bacaro, it's like, oh, he's the bad guy? And was it evident because of me, or was it evident because, like, hey, brand new guy, he's obviously the bad guy? That's always something, because whenever I pride myself on my range, and I don't always get a character who is 2 people. It's really fun if you get a character who starts off as not the villain and becomes a villain, or starts off as a human and becomes possessed. So I love that sort of ability to challenge myself. But I'm curious if it was immediately like, oh, that's obviously the same voice actor.
No, I didn't even click for ages. I thought because of the way it was written, I did think quite quickly what the deal was. but I didn't really click until later that it's like, oh shit, that's actually the same voice actor.
Yeah.
But no, I
Okay,
couldn't
good.
tell. No.
I don't know if you saw Star Trek Discovery, Paul.
I have not seen Discovery. No, we got about halfway through the 5th season, and then Paramount Plus bought Star Trek, and we don't have Paramount Plus, and so it's like, I guess we're not going to finish Star Trek.
I was gonna say it doesn't really matter if you haven't seen it, but there's a character who has almost exactly the same thing. No one except
Okay.
in Star Trek, people saw it coming because the breadcrumbs were sort of laid down.
Gotcha.
But the people are astonished when they found out, even
That's
after
the
they
same
know
actor, yeah.
that it's that was the same
Awesome.
actor doing the holy shit. I think that's
Wonderful.
the situation here. If you've seen on forums or anywhere that people saw that twist, and sorry if we've just spoiled it for anyone, but it has been out many years now, so I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think when people do make that prediction, they see it coming, it's nothing to do with the voice acting. It's because the list of suspects is basically one.
There's like 6. Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, everybody, here's 6 brand new characters. 4 of them are cat people. 1 of them is a talking stone. It's probably going to be the human.
Yeah, and that is a big complaint about that chapter, actually, that it kneecaps itself by they didn't maybe see that coming in the early stages of production, which is a difficult thing, right? It's kind of a magic trick, the way a video game comes together. It never looks the way you think it's going to.
There's so many pieces, especially with something like ESO that is constantly growing. If you just say, hey, here's the next chapter, here's 10 brand new people, it's like, well, one of them is going to be the bad guy. So unless they're going back and reaching into the history of it, where it's like, we've been doing this for however many years, and they bring a character back, like that's always really cool. I love a big continued universe,
Yeah, it's
like
big fun.
The geeky kid in me that would you pick up an issue of Avengers, and then Wolverine shows up, and you pick up something else, and characters can just show up and stuff, and it's this one continuity that's, I don't know. On one hand, it's challenging to keep it all, you have to have that lore master who's like, da-da-da-da-da, that person died on fire, so you need to have them mention that they're back and no longer on fire. But when they do that, yeah, that's such an amazing thing. That's actually one of the things I love so much about Bethesda, is that when I record with them, we have the director and we have the writer. There's always a lore master who's just like, anytime there's any sort of question as to like, why is my character saying it like this? And it's like, I can tell you that. Here's the history of this character's parents' horses. Yeah, it's incredible. Just the love and the depth that gets into it. But yeah, it's always kind of crazy that just seeing how much work goes into a game. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, even making a bad game takes an ungodly amount of work and cross-disciplinary coordination.
Yeah.
So to make a good, it's a little bit like a movie. I remember people saying a great interview with Chadwick Boseman when he was asked about, Marvel movies, are they real cinema? And he was amazing. What a loss to the industry. But one of the things he says, you got to remember, even making a bad movie is still really hard. Like, it's an incredibly difficult thing to do. So we should just be grateful whenever a movie gets made, regardless of whether we think it sucks. That should be like your starting point.
And that's always the toughest thing, because like, at what people always ask this too, when so a bad movie comes out, people are like, okay, at what point did they know this was a bad movie?
Yeah.
Like, if you're months and millions of dollars into making a movie, you can't be like, guys, I don't think this is going to be very good. Let's just shut it down. It's like, we have to finish this.
We have to do it now,
angry. We hate ourselves. We have to finish this.
Yeah. We can just rein in the marketing budget maybe and hope that word of mouth will do the trick.
Maybe just release it right to stream it. Yeah, exactly. It's so, as a creative person, when you see a movie and it's like, Jesus, guys, really? This is what you took 8 months to make? Ugh. But it's there's never just one person that can be like, okay, stop. This is awful. We have to stop this. It really is like an iceberg. And sometimes it's an amazing iceberg, and sometimes the iceberg, sinks a production company.
So, yeah. Thank you, Eggbirds. And hey, thanks for the follow. Thank you, Puck King, for the sub. And Egbert saying voice acting throughout the High Isle story was strong, in my opinion. All of the characters were cool. Yeah, I actually
Agreed.
did the whole year's adventure in a couple of weeks on stream. So I did
Nice.
the whole story. I did all the delves, the trials, the dungeons, all of it. And it was unbelievable. Like the amount of work that clearly went into all of this. Like little mention in one of the dungeons about something in the trial. And it's just fascinating. But
Yeah.
couple of
I love that. I love when it just feels like a massive, coherent world. Yeah. And as far as the quality, again, like not to toot my own horn, but like I'm confident that I'm good at what I do. And the fact that Bethesda is like, we agree, so validating. And like they don't hire shitty actors, you know, like and it's never just hello. Like there's a depth to it. They put the effort in, and the actors put the effort in, and that's why even if it's a tiny little character, I'll give my all and give 3 takes of just whatever. Just to work with them is so fun, and that's as an actor, as a gamer, to be part of the thing that I play is, you know, little me is just screaming and freaking out, because like now I've gotten to the point in my career where the things that made me become this are some of the things I'm in. Like I've worked with Marvel, I've worked with DC, like there's an upcoming unannounced Batman animated film that I am in. And it's like, Batman the Animated Series is the reason I got into this pretty much. So it's like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mark Hamill and all that stuff.
Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, yeah. Although technically my very first Joker was Cesar Romero in the Batman 66 reruns. And just how ridiculously over the top that entire show was. And I didn't get that as a kid. I recently rewatched the Batman the movie. And then I realized, this is just like a joke. Like it's a really fun joke, but yeah, this is just a joke. Okay.
This is the Adam West stuff.
The Adam West, yeah, exactly. The bat shark repellent spray and the bat solar death ray oh god, yeah. So dumb, so fun, intentionally so.
Yeah. So I was going to ask about that actually, in terms of influences. Obviously, if we go back too far, voice acting in video games is barely even a thing.
Yeah.
But do you remember the first time where you really noticed voice acting in games and thought, wow, great job, really beautifully done? I don't know, anything that sort of stood out to you? Doesn't have to be the first one, but...
Well, let me think. So I started with NES, where there really wasn't anything, and Genesis, it just kind of sounded like you were talking into like a fist full of coins. So that really didn't, I didn't notice anything with that. So I guess after Genesis was the PS1, well, it was the Sega CD, which that FMV forever, man. So the first thing that really stood out, the first thing that comes to mind in the PS1 era,
this is a mess.
I imagine the
it's actually 2 things. One is good and one is bad. One of my favorite series is the Wipeout series, the futuristic racing combat game. And Wipeout XL was one of my all-time favorite games. And I always did kind of enjoy the sort of laid-back, sinister robot. Like saying, when you say mines, you know, they'd always say Mayans, and it's like Mayans, like the company. I'm sorry, like the people, the ancient pre-Columbian people, Mayans. You're dropping Mayans, and they, you know, so that always kind of stuck out. The palpably bad voiceover from the original Resident Evil game, that to this day still remains the most awful. God, I'm trying to think of things that stood out that were good.
Personally, for me, I guess Morrowind.
I mean, there's so many things that are like good, bad.
Yeah,
Like even Resident Evil 2, actually all the original RE games have such stilted, hilariously stilted VO. I guess the first time I really said, ooh, that's a great story and it's well acted. Yeah, that might be Silent Hill 2, the original PS2 Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
Because something about the stiltedness, the awkwardness, it felt intentional, and it kind of added to the nightmarish dreamscape thing that was going on. And it didn't feel like a weird directorial choice, like, maybe you, the master of unlocking, can find a use for that, you know. It was like, this feels odd intentionally, as opposed to what was the director telling these people to do? Was there a director?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the first time that it was kind of like a cutscene would end and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm playing a game. Yeah.
I think 2002's Morrowind for me was the first time it really occurred to me to appreciate the performances and direction in a video game. And I was, and especially Jeff Baker's Dunmer males, you know, these guys, quickly Outlander, I haven't much time. You know, they would be talking to you like that. And there wasn't a lot of dialogue in those games. You still, most of it was text, but you'd get a little voice, like a stinger, when they would greet you. And depending on how much they liked you, and in Morrowind, nobody likes you. Everyone's a dick in the beginning of the game. And it's this real stranger in a strange land vibe. That really blew me away. I thought that this actually adds so much. Way more than I would have expected.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible the fact that that tiny little thing can bring you into it, and how I don't know who did it first, but I think you're right. I think it was like early 2000s, you know, late 90s, where someone making a game was like, hey, we can put audio into this, like actually people talking.
Yeah.
What if we hire somebody that isn't just a person who's talking? Like, what if we get not even just a celebrity, just like, what if they're acting? You know, like there have been actors in animation. Why don't we try this out? And that's the thing. I think today there is no reason not to do that. So if I ever see like a AAA game and it's like, clearly they didn't put the effort in, it's like, guys, I know how much voice actors get paid. This was not going to drain your budget.
Yeah.
Like you could have taken a step further with this. But it's the difference between, you know, a game where it has a rich world where you want to talk to everybody, and then it's like Australian female voice. Gotcha. Okay, this is, you know, they got one woman who did an Australian voice and she's saying the same thing even though she's like 18 different characters. Like it's very off-putting and confusing, and from a gaming perspective it takes you out of it, and it's also kind of like, you know, I paid for this. Like, you guys, I don't know. You can put the effort in. Like, there's so many ridiculously talented people out there, not even like high-level celebrities, just like talented people that can make your game better. Like, when you pick up a piece of paper and it's a letter, have somebody narrate it. Oh boy, you know. But yeah, and again, I think Bethesda is one of the folks that have been doing that for a while. And just that simple thing of like, hey, what if we got good talking people?
Yeah.
And just the fact that Elder Scrolls Online initially wasn't going to be fully voiced. They delayed production on this. We still haven't been able to. We even had Becky Iknowski here, and we asked her. She said, I actually am not sure who was the instigator of this.
Yeah, she gushed over you a little bit, Paul. I got to admit.
Yeah.
Well, she's amazing. These people, again, these people are awesome. Becky and Gina and DB Cooper and all the directors and that's the other thing. Working with assholes is the worst thing. It doesn't matter how cool a gig is, man. It's like, hey, we're casting you as Batman. If you're working with an asshole, it's like, this sucks. But like, everybody is so cool, you know? So it's kind of like awesome. And I get to be, you know, the Ascendant Lord, and I get to work with these really cool people. So yeah. But yes, I'm sorry, Becky. Yeah.
We did because we did something called 10 Fest. So that was like a whole 10-day raid train celebrating all the bits that we love in the game, you know, celebrating the 10 years a year later, but hey ho. But yeah, we had the devs on every day, different devs on stream talking to us. And it was most of them have been there, you know, from the start.
Yeah.
The love that they have for what they do, also each other and respect. Like, it was just so deeply sort of rooted. It was actually really, really amazing. I'm obviously already a fan of the game,
Oh, sure,
but actually getting to know them and talking to them like this was really awesome. And it was. We happened to have Wes was on with us on day one, and just there was one storyline that he really loves. He wouldn't say, it's my favorite, but that one does have a special place in my heart. And we actually went and played it on stream so he could hear it, see it, and it was very emotional. And it was quite funny because that particular story came up with everyone, the writers, Becky, everybody remembered that one.
Yeah.
And it was just such a cool little.
Yeah, you'd hope that something like Bethesda or any game company, honestly, when you're creating something like that, you hope it's more than a job. One of the, I think at this point still like the highest, most crazy moment was when I got to work with Rockstar for Red Dead Redemption 2. They actually, we went to their huge, massive mocap stage out of the city, and every single person there was a gamer. Like the person putting the ping pong balls on my crotch was a gamer. The person finding cowboy boots that fit me just right was a gamer.
No, that's a hell of a Saturday night.
They got paid a lot, so I feel like it's it's kind of a risk versus reward thing. But that was something truly magical. Like I have played, starting with GTA 3, I've played all the Rockstar games, and so I got the audition, and it was like it's for Rockstar Project Dust, and a lot of these things are code named so you don't get killed by the NDA snipers. And I was like, okay, cool, Project Dust, Rockstar, that's awesome. I went in, did the audition, got a call back, and it's like, even if nothing else happens, like I got a call back from Rockstar. That's really cool.
Hell yeah.
So then I book it. They say, we're not going to tell you anything until you get there. I had to sign an NDA when I got the job, and then another NDA when they put me in the scanny thing. And it was like, okay, I get it. But when I was there, every single just the vibes were so impeccable. And my favorite moment, a couple of my favorite moments, because that was so ridiculously cool. I was sitting there with, so I ended up playing Bertram, the half-wit Hercules, in the mission, The Smell of the Grease Paint. And in the scene, there's a woman named Miss Marjorie, who's kind of like the mother figure to me. So she had no idea what was going on. She was like, Rockstar is a thing my son knows about. What is this? And I said, honestly, I'm not 100% sure. But then, you look at the script and it's like, oh, okay, this is the next Red Dead Redemption game. Okay, cool. And I'm like, okay, they're making a sequel to that. That's kind of cool. So she's like, all right, what is Red Dead Redemption? I started telling her the story because Red Dead Redemption I have yet to find a game with a better ending. Red Dead Redemption is the best ending to a video game I have personally ever experienced.
Wes said the same a couple of days ago. Yeah.
It's like, if there's something else, I'd love to play it, but like that, just, ooh. So I'm sitting there telling this woman the story of Red Dead Redemption, and I get to that ending part, and I talk about how, there's the ending, but then it continues, and you get like the true ending. And I notice at the end of this, the entire green room has gone quiet, and everyone is standing around listening to me recount Red Dead Redemption. And it's like, okay, I feel okay about this. And then, to make things even cooler, I hear a voice come in like, hey, okay, what are we going to do today? Am I going to shoot some folks today? And I was like, that's John Marston. And then I was like, he's not supposed to be in this. And then I said, oh gosh, I wonder if this is a prequel. And that's how I learned that Red Dead Redemption 2 was a prequel. And then I went up to one of the people and I'm like, can I say hi to Rob? Because he seems so cool. And he was like, yeah, he's a sweetheart. Go up to him. So I was like, I have heard you say, come here, you little beauty, 50,000 times, because I picked every goddamn flower for the botanical side quests in the first game. And he was a lovely guy. But that is still just the most ridiculously cool moment in my career. was like getting to work with them, seeing the love, just like with Bethesda, the love that people have for what they're doing.
Yep.
No one was there because it was a job, and that I feel like that comes through with everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
great to hear.
And Zim saying, well, hello there, Paul. And we have Elias saying, comparing against Final Fantasy, which isn't fully voice acted, feels like ESO spoils us rotten on that front. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, also getting a shout out to Mr. Charisma here, which is, if anyone's wondering, that is Paul Guyet's Twitch channel. Go and follow it. Yeah. Do it.
I've got a timer going as well. There we go. Nightbot just saying, there we go. Yeah, go follow.
And folks, if you got any questions, feel free to type them in. The worst thing that'll happen is that we decide, nah, maybe not that one. But you know, if you've got questions, Paul has agreed to be here with us to help raise money for the American Heart Association. And I'll tell you what, if you guys will do a donation and then come back with a question, we'll be extra likely to give you a thorough response. But
is that an indulgence? Isn't that what those are called?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, we are $172 away from a Doom tattoo. That's one of the goals. And the team is not far from raising $5,000 altogether. So here is the donation link. Hit it. Do it.
Doom.
Yeah, like, you don't have to get it.
Software Doom.
Yeah.
Okay, I like Doom. I gotta say, so I had when we were moving out of the city, I had probably the most courteous mental breakdown ever, and it exhibited itself it happened, I think, in that October when the remaster of Quake 1 was put out. I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, so I played that. I would beat the game, start it again, beat the game, start it again. And at the same time, the new Halsey album that was produced by Nine Inch Nails came out around that time.
Oh, yeah.
So I started collecting all of the vinyl variants of that. That was my little breakdown, the most polite breakdown. I did not go on a bender. I bought several records, and I played Quake over and over and over again.
That is pretty...
It's pretty polite. I didn't crash a car. I didn't, go on a murder spree. Well, in Quake, I guess I did, but, Shamblers are scary, so...
Yeah, true. And I remember seeing the Nine Inch Nails poster behind you during your stream. It would have been a few months back. Yeah.
Massive.
Egbert is just saying, I will have to watch the VOD later because it's, gotta go. Bye. But saying, keep up the awesome work, guys. And thank you, Paul. I was not aware I heard your voice so many times playing the reworked Urgot in League of Legends. What a performance. It was only during the radio play of The Shadow I've realized that was you.
Yeah, that was a fun one. They when they had me out, they explained it to me before we recorded, which is dumb, that everybody hates Urgot. That he's a joke. Aww. They showed me meme videos of people just kind of openly mocking him, and they were like, and you've got to help us make him cool. And it's like, no pressure, thank you. But yeah, again, just like I've worked with Riot before, and they were super cool, and I'm really proud of what we did. And every once in a while, I'll be streaming, and somebody will pop in and be like, hey, I love your Urgot. This is so ridiculously cool. You made this character good. There's somebody in the League of Legends community who commissioned some fan art of me, which is awesome and still ridiculous. Like, I know, like, people like Wes and Courtney Taylor, they probably have entire walls full of fan art, but like, it's still so bizarre to know that somebody liked this so much that they then drew a picture of me in that. Like, mind-blowing. Like, the first Bethesda stream I was on with Steve French, who is, I think he's a bunch of people, but specifically he was Mayhoon's...
Yeah, Mehrunes Dagon.
Mehrunes Dagon.
Yeah.
Thank you, yes.
That's a weirdly spelled name, isn't it?
Oh, they're all bizarre. One of the characters I'm in Gold Road, I had to actually type it out because I would never remember how to pronounce it. But so somebody tossed out the idea of Mayhunes and the Ascendant Lord at the DMV. And we just did this little skit. And somebody drew a picture with the Ascendant Lord, but with my head and Dagon, Mayhewn's Dagon, like the Lovecraft character Dagon. Okay, gotcha. Like with Steve's head, and like sent that to both of us, and it's like, what's going on? And then I found out that a chocolatier made a life-size Ascendant Lord out of chocolate.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'm never going to be parodied by Weird Al. I'm never going to be parodied by a porn. That's my legacy. Someone made a chocolate statue of me.
Brilliant.
The best kind of bizarre.
But obviously, being a gamer yourself from what sounds like an early age, it's got to be really cool to be in them now.
It's nuts. One of the very first things I highlighted on Twitch was me finding myself and beating the living shit out of myself in Red Dead Redemption 2. Very cathartic. It's weird. It's a level of catharsis that I think a lot of people would go to therapy for years to achieve, and I just went to me and just pummeled the shit out of me. So, yeah.
That's quite bizarre, but I can see how that would be quite cathartic.
Yeah.
Thing. First time I remember speech in a game was Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen's digitized speech, Liberation, fight it out. And I think there was Egbert's also saying, for me, the first game where voice acting really made an impact on me was Bastion from 2011. Logan Cunningham voiceover as the narrator has such an impact on me.
Bastion is a beautiful game. Yeah.
I'd never even played that.
It was that and what was the one they did after that? Synthesizer?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the same company. Again, it's one of those things where I think that's technically an indie game, but if they had not gotten that incredible narration, it would be a real good game. But you get an incredibly talented actor, and it just brings everything to life, you know? Yeah, it's an audio video medium, and it's like you can't just have something that looks amazing, you know? Like, put the effort in. If you have somebody who's getting, if you have a character who's getting shot and a character who's getting set on fire, record an on fire noise and record a getting shot noise, because it's not going to sound the same. One of my very, very, very favorite first video game things, I don't even remember what the game is, but it was like a military, like a Call of Duty kind of thing. I had this director who was European. That's as close as I can tell you. And he gave me the best direction I have ever gotten. So my character was going through efforts. Efforts are, you know, when you're lifting something or hitting or getting hit, or, you know, you're on fire. And he gave me the direction, Paul, can you sound like you are more on fire? And that's the best direction I've ever seen, I've ever heard. Paul, can you sound like you were more on fire? And I did, and I was really happy with it.
Well, speaking of putting the effort in and making a performance sing that would otherwise just be a character that could easily come and go, I think maybe we should take a look at Zorin, the Dremora boss from Lucent Citadel. So the backstory for this, ladies and gentlemen, is that Paul, after having done the Ascendant Lord, you were asked back for Zorin, correct?
So, still auditioned. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not famous enough for people to call me and say, we love what you did, come back. I auditioned for High Isle. I did a bunch of folks in High Isle. The next one was Necrom. I think I auditioned for Necrom, did not get anything in Necrom, and the next one I auditioned for was Gold Road. And that one I am Zorin, Legionnaire Scipio, and, hang on, I want to get this right, because this is the one that I could not pronounce since I had a gun to my head, even if I did. Valkinaz Enuzel.
Valkinaz, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I remember, like, you have the audition if you want to play that. Listen to the confidence with which I say that name. that was fun because the audition wasn't the first couple lines were his chanting, and then he was speaking English. So it was like, okay, let's see what this guy sounds like. But yeah, so no, I auditioned for it, and they were like, you're going to be this guy and this guy and this guy. And I'd like to think that they're different enough that there's no way somebody would be like, there's that old Paul Guyett voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so these are all, well, two of them are Daedra, so the demons of this particular universe, and they're a bit of a mixed bag. I remember playing for some reason I put on the German localization one day, I guess because I'm Danish, and there isn't a Danish voice recording in this game, but there is a German localization, and a lot of the demon voices are much more death metal and sort of distorted by the actor, not just by post, than a lot of the English or the English voiceovers. And that really took me by surprise. So sometimes the Daedra is just a lady voice or a man's voice with the demon filter, that chorus effect. And a couple of other things on there. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It's got to be intelligible, right? But with some of them, they go much bigger, and Zorin is definitely one of these. I love it. I think it's a little bit of a heartbreaking one, because a trial boss, a trial is a very busy... This is a raid in WoW, right? It's the same kind of thing. It's a very busy experience. There are a lot of noises, a lot of stuff going on. And you've commented...
The raid lead, no, not that one! No, don't do that!
There's generally voice comms as well going on, so it is not an environment where you can sort of drink in the atmosphere, typically. But ZOS don't care. ZeniMax Online Studios put it all in there anyway, so it's there if we want to tune out the rest and do like a story run.
We do story runs as well for that.
Which is, one of the things that we do. So,
fantastic.
First of all, let's put on this...
Whilst you're getting that on, Jay playing, my first time was probably Impossible Mission on a Commodore 64. Another visitor, stay a while, stay forever. Brilliant.
Wow. It's unsettling. All right, let me see. Okay, because I have this plugged into my Scarlet. Let's see what's the best way to get the audio for this. I apologize if there's any doubling when we get to Zorin.
I have Valkenaz Aquoth here.
Ooh.
So I don't think I was Aquoth, because there were 3 of them.
Right.
Yeah, let me know when to unmute. That's what I can do. Okay, I'll have to turn my mic off when Zorin comes up, because I have this going directly through my head.
Yeah, no worries. I'll play the clip that you sent to Maya earlier in 3, 2, 1.
Paul Guyett, Valkenaz Aquoth. Take 1. Irnak Maimar, Suni Zach. Irnak Maimar, Suni Zach. Purify this world in glass and light. You will regret this interruption. Let the sky shatter! This is not my end, but yours approaches. Take 2. Irnak Maimar Suni Zag. Irnak Maimar Suni Zag.
You get the idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's
glass and light.
Too crazy different.
You will regret this interruption.
Yeah, it's great though.
It's quite sinister.
Yeah, it's very sinister.
God, it was a lot of fun. So I think that's what happened. I think I auditioned for they had that name, and then they may have changed it. But yeah, this is another reason I love. You'll get some of these auditions where they don't tell you anything about the character. And on one hand, it's like, okay, cool, I get to create them. But it's like, guys, I need a little context. I have never gotten an audition from Bethesda that did not have at least a page of here's the world, here's the vibe, here's a picture of the guy. Like, here's something to actually work with. And as an actor, when you're helping to create a character, the more they give you, the more you can give them. And that's something that, for some reason, there are people that think that acting and voice acting are 2 different things. And sometimes it can be in really garbage commercials where it's just like, AT&T, like there's not acting, it's just saying words. But in something like I don't know, a well-written commercial or a video game or animation. It is acting. And, you know, if you don't have any sort of ground for this character, then people are going to notice it. It's like, okay, what a cool voice, but he's just a cool voice. Like, I don't get anything else behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were like a couple paragraphs on those three Daedra who like doing something, and the lore master explained everything. I did forget it, but at the time it was really cool.
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp saying, I love it.
Yeah.
That was when we were talking to Becky, just describing the whole process and everything.
Yeah.
And I know, obviously talking to, you know, Wes, that's not always the case. Sometimes you're just like, yeah, go. And Becky was just like, well, we've been doing it for a long time, so we got good at it.
Yeah.
It's just, it was just so matter of fact. It was like, that sounds amazing, though, because that's going to make everyone's life so much easier.
Well, let's face it, a studio that takes the trouble to put in a bear scratching its back against a tree, you know, you want these. It's an expensive thing. There is a budget for this in a video game. Ultimately, you might as well get the juice out of that voiceover, out of that performance. I'm totally there for it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And especially, you know, I'm a gamer that plays with headphones, so it's you know, you can tell the difference. That's the thing. Just like you said, Maya, when you played everything in Gold Road, every aspect of it. I also know that there are people that just like skip the dialogue, give me the loot. That's fine, but I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for the people who are going to go through every single thing, because that's what I do. You know, it's my firm belief. If you have a waterfall in a game and you don't put something behind it, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
If you're going to take the time to have a branching path, and, you know, critical path is this way. Okay, you know, the mission marker's pointing this way. Well, what's over here? Oh, there's some trees. There's a waterfall. It doesn't have to be crazy.
You're going to go through it. You're going to look.
It better be, oh, you got to go through it, but it better be something. Give me a ration. Give me a letter. Give me something that's like a letter that says, I was going to put a ration here, but I left, because who looks behind a waterfall? Just give me something to say, hey, here's a reason to go behind the waterfall. Like,
Saying, hashtag fact.
Come on, like, we're hopefully going to be, and I know, like, back when I was a kid, like, you'd get a game for Christmas, this is the game you had. And today it's like, Humble Bundle, here's 7,000 games for $8, and it's like, I will never, my pile of shame could fill a house.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I love a game, I'm going to get into it and I'm going to do every single thing. So make me be happy that I did. Like, I finished the new God of Wars, and I'm like, you know what, it'll be fun. Let's go back and play the original God of Wars to see the evolution, or I guess in this case, the de-evolution of Kratos. And I'll say, every single time you're supposed to go left and you go right, there's something there for you. A little bit of candy. Sometimes it's big candy, sometimes it's a little bit of candy, but every single time. And that's how you get somebody to explore everything in your game. Just give us something. Give us a little piece of lore. Give us literally a piece of candy, you know, whatever. GTA 4, you guys remembered that? You had to, like, catch all the pigeons. That was the devs' way of saying, explore every inch of this map.
Yeah.
There's 100 pigeons. I can't remember if you had to collect them or take a picture of them, but, like, for better or worse.
Yeah, waterfalls must always be checked. And Zim saying, give me a secret hideout. And Belorda, this, you always need to check if you can walk into a waterfall. Actually, I'm pretty sure in ESO there is a house.
I mean, look what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And,
this is the underwater house, right?
Oh, no, this is like a beautiful sort of wooden thing with like a little harbor there. But there is, if you sort of start exploring, there is a little cave behind a waterfall. I think there is a dead body there, so not as nice. Bit creepy to have that in your house, maybe.
Sure.
But I love that it's there.
But
it's,
The fact that someone
the thing.
said, exactly, hey, we have a waterfall, we're going to put something behind it. Like, that for me will keep me coming back to a game. Yeah.
Also, it's you were sort of saying, you know, I'm doing this for you guys, the ones that actually explore and listen to everything. When we were talking to Mike Finnegan, so the encounter designer, the lead encounter designer. Well, his job description has now changed, but yeah, he was saying it's so funny how many people don't look up, don't look anywhere, and we always do. We always look up, but it's sort of become a thing since that chat. And it is kind of shocking when we do like trials or something. And I said, oh, there's like that little Ewok village behind, above the boss. We're like, what are you talking about? I said, just look up. How do you not look up? How do you not listen when the boss goes crazy or does something? Like, how do you not take that? Like, how do you miss it? To me, it's like, that's crazy.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a shorter attention span, or if it's like I want to critical path the game so I can go back to it, or if it's just let me see the new loot. There's no wrong way to do it, but it's I don't know. Everybody games differently. I appreciate a rich world where I can go and, one of the things that bothers me the most is, this door's locked. And it's like, I have a shotgun. The door's not locked. I have a shotgun, that kind of thing. So at the end of an area, if I can open every door or break a window and climb through, it's like, yeah, because that's what this is. Yeah.
The first time I stopped... No, let me rephrase. The first time I began to be less bothered by the unopenable doors and the uninteractable NPCs and stuff was when we got CD Projekt size cities, like Novigrad in The Witcher, like Night City.
Yeah.
It's so big that you sort of, okay, I get it. But I love the fact that you can go around Windhelm in Skyrim and you can investigate every shelf in every bedroom if you want to. They may be locked, but you can still break in. That's cool.
Exactly. And and there's a downside to that. Like, specifically in the Fallout games, I replayed Fallout 4 for the first time when when the show came out and when they put out the HD upgrade, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And at one point, I had a command. When I had a command and I told chat, like, if you see me picking up coffee mugs, hit ! Coffee. And it was literally just me saying, fucking stop it. I was level like 83. I'm like, oh, I should pick up this coffee mug. I don't need the coffee mug. I didn't need the coffee mug when I was level 1. I certainly don't need it when I'm level 80. But yeah, so upsides, downsides, a lot of coffee mugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alia is saying, it's so sad when guildmates say they don't listen to the in-game audio music, voice prompts, in favor of a Spotify playlist or something because they miss out on so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your second playthrough of a story, do you? But I always say, listen to every stitch of dialogue if you can first time around, because there's so much creativity and effort and beauty going on. There's a lot of stuff. There's also
really dumb stuff that is so much fun. Like, this is something, and I want to get his name correct too. So for High Isle, there was Bacaro, there was the Ascendant Lord, there was a Shrouded Axeman, Barthol, who was the like a mine, a guy who worked in a mine.
You're the Shrouded Axeman?
I think I'm a Shrouded Axeman, unless there is just one. Like, he does like a little nursery rhyme kind of thing.
that's the secret boss in one of our probably my favorite dungeon. And
holy shit! What?
Yeah,
Shrouded Axeman. Yep.
Yeah, he's horrifying. Oh my god, that guy is so scary.
They explained him to me, and again, that's my favorite thing when it's like, you're him. That's my favorite thing. I'm Arch Magister Delric Billy, who apparently has like one line. He's like, I hope everything goes well, and then immediately dies. I love that. He has like a necklace that kills him or something. That guy. But where is he? Okay. Kinlord Melosur. So they described him to me. And the way it works is, so I auditioned for the Ascendant Lord and Bacaro, and in the session, they're like, okay, when we're done with Bacaro and the Ascendant Lord, there's a couple other characters. And they kind of give me a little description, and then they say, how do you think he sounds? And we kind of find the voice. So for Kinlord Melosur, there is a bar that you go into, and you have to cause a distraction. You can like pay somebody to play a song. You can just start breaking shit. One of the things you can do there's this guy, Kinlord Maloser, who came to this island to like take in the sights. One of the things he wanted to see was a bar fight. So you can go and cause a bar fight. And you can do that by like going to him and encouraging to have the bar fight. So they explain him to me. He has this like curly hair, this mustache. And they say that he's specifically just there to get in a bar fight. And I'm like, okay. And I had the script. And I'm like, let me try something. And it was basically Sir Didymus from Labyrinth. Like, to Bragard! And I basically did that voice. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try something really stupid. Let me know what you think. They said, absolutely. I think this was this Becky. I can't remember who the director was, but this is like one of the first times I worked with them. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And it was something like, I say, you foul-smelling blackguard, and just literally this obnoxious voice. And then I read the line and I stopped, and I'm like, what do we think? And they were like, this is it, period. Like, yes, no question. Yeah. This is the guy. And every time I tried to find that mission, people did the fight or they did, and finally I found it. And it was like, yes, that guy.
Oh, brilliant.
I want his chapter.
Did you
I
know?
want his entire...
Debbie.
And Zim's saying the same as me,
Yeah.
that, oh my god, the Charlotte Axeman was you. I love that guy. I love his lines. And Tevi,
I
hello,
saw
hello.
that. And yeah, he's really, really cool looking. And again, that's one of my favorite things, just the ability, because again, I'm 6 feet 8 inches tall. I look like this. I don't get a lot of J. Crew ads because I look like someone who might eat a J. Crew model. But as a voice actor, the range is endless. If you can do it, then you can do it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one of my all-time favorite things is just being all these different characters and bouncing around. The fact that, you know, yeah.
I think that's what Wes was saying as well. Sort of like, yeah, you know, I can have a six-pack. I can be whoever. I can be whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I can be made out of chocolate. No one can tell. It's great. Yeah.
I gotta say, though, since you mentioned Sir Didymus, I love that film. I love the character. David Shaughnessy is in this game. Quite a lot.
Oh, that's so cool.
How cool is that?
That's ridiculous. That's actually something that I didn't even think about till a few years back. You're familiar with the Oracle of Bacon?
No, I don't think so.
So there's this kind of ongoing theory that you can connect any two actors through Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. That's the other name.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But there's a website, the Oracle of Bacon. It says Kevin Bacon, and you put in an actor's name, and it'll show you a tree that connects within 6 to Kevin Bacon. My Bacon number is 2. I didn't think, like, okay, I've worked with Rockstar, I've worked with Disney, I've worked with, you know, Marvel, I've worked with, you know, but my Bacon number is 2.
That's exciting.
That's something to put on a headstone.
That is very cool. Yeah.
The Shaughnessy number is 1. How cool is that?
Oh, Sean, of course. So many. Yeah. Shaughnessy number is 1. I have a lot of really cool. My Wes Johnson number is 1.
Hey.
My Yuri Lowenthal number is 1. Yeah. But yeah, so that's another very strange thing that you'd never, you know, you don't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to get my Bacon number down to 2, you know?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Maya and I used to play that game, not with Kevin Bacon, but we just to pass the time. Maya studied film, theatre, and television,
film and television
at university.
Yeah.
So DVD collection back when those were a thing. My friends would come over and visit, and they'd be like, "Holy crap! How many of these damn things have you got?" We were one of those households, right? And yeah, we used to do that. We'd say, I don't know. Dexter Fletcher and Elijah Wood, go. And it was like, how quickly can you connect the two? But the funny thing is, David Shaughnessy plays a lot of, for those listening in chat, that's High Kinlord Rillis. We'll remember him. He plays a lot of these Kinlord type characters, the High Elves specifically. That is a title, an honorific in the High Elves in this game. Glory, getting very nerdy here. But those are, he does do some of the other male races as well, but predominantly he voices the High Elves, which is exactly what you were reaching for with the Sir Didymus impression. That's really funny.
And a little side note, I've been a physical media girly forever. We have a DVD collection. I collect records. Streaming is super convenient until it's not. Like just the other day, I turned on Disney Plus. It said, "Hey, we're raising your rates." I said, "Okay," and then it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Like, make this hard for me, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Give me something. But yeah, no, I have. Yeah, we have. Oh boy. I'd say about 700 Blu-rays and DVDs.
Yeah,
that's
easy.
wild.
Because I
Yeah.
don't see a reason not to. You know, like say the internet goes out. There's not.
What are you gonna
any
do?
Streaming. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't get the dependence on streaming. It's cool, but like what happens when you can't find something on streaming? You know?
Or,
Elson Coffee, welcome in. But I just saw Tevi. I'm sorry, he played Urgot in League?
yep.
Yep.
People melting in chat as they discover how goated Paul Guyette actually is. Everybody, give it up for Paul. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And
Absolutely.
I also wanted to say, as you know, if you're a horror household, like I don't mean like that. If you're
yes.
a horror film enjoying household, that's another
Yeah.
thing. All the dark scenes, that is where you really notice the limitations of streaming. You get those horrible artifacts in all the dark areas, and it just takes you out of it right away. Now, screw that.
Yeah. The pixelation, and then like the sound is never mixed correctly. There's so many things to complain about, and it's like I don't know. But actually, so as far as being a horror person, so when we lived in New York City, I don't know if anybody has ever lived in New York City, but unless you are a bajillionaire, you're gonna have a weird shaped apartment. There's gonna be something off. My first apartment, right out of college, there were no closets. And I don't mean like, oh, there's a tiny closet. There were no closets. My room was so small, I could fit a queen-size mattress in. It scraped to the walls. It was touching 3 of the walls. I had my clothes. Anyway, so in the next apartment, where we were at for like 17 years or so, the apartment itself was a 2-bedroom. It was nice and cozy. The hallway... It was a 35-foot hallway. So every Halloween, my wife, she got her degree in directing. I got mine in performance, match made in heaven. She also makes puppets. She's incredible. So every Halloween, we would decorate our 35-foot hallway, and we would have a themed Halloween party. So one year, we had a Stephen King theme. We made, we put Pennywise in the corner of the bathroom so you could only see him if you were looking in the mirror in a specific way.
Oh, God.
We wrote
Oh
it.
my God.
Oh yeah, we wrote it in blood on the bathtub, on the bathroom wall, just like, you know, the Stan Uris thing.
Tell me what happened.
And what we did for the hallway, because from 2003 to 2013, while I was building my career as a voice actor, I had a dead-end day job from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday. I had no social life, but it allowed me to go out and audition. I just had to do whatever I was doing by 2 p.m. So I had so much time. I actually typed out about 500 pages, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy, in different formats and different shapes. I printed that out, brought it home, and my wife stapled it to the wall. So the entire 35-foot hallway was lined with typewriter pages. And then in huge 6-foot backwards red letters, she wrote Red Rum.
Oh, that's amazing.
That was our Stephen King party. We did a Tim Burton one year. We did a Lovecraft one year where I did sound design of just this deep, wet breathing in the hallway, and we got a bunch of we got several miles, it seems, of surgical tubing, and we wet it and then put it in the freezer and made it basically completely dark. So you're walking through this hallway with just deep, wet breathing, and you're feeling these like cold, wet tentacles on your face as you're walking through in the dark. we did like a Silent Hill thing one year where we put the oh boy, the Halo of the Sun on a bunch of burlap, and we had that, and we had some Akira Yamaoka soundscapes going. We did Twin Peaks one year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, huge Lynch fan. So yes, we're massive horror people here.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you have to make do with the space that you have. And a 35-foot hallway for 51 months of the year is kind of inconvenient, but that 1 week of the year, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
Your
like you were Maya's
horror
kind of
movie,
people.
then? Oh yeah, yeah.
Favorite horror movie.
I know.
That's tough.
You can do top few.
Top few. Okay, yeah. If we're going, so Shaun of the Dead is one of my favorite horror.
Yeah.
Not really horror, but horror. Sinister is one of my more recent favorites. Mainly because of the sound design, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is really good. And I don't know why he stopped doing good. You know?
He certainly stopped. Yeah.
He really did. It's almost like he did a couple movies and he's like, I'm going to try being shitty at what I do. And hey, I guess it's working for him.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. Oh, In the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorites. Carpenter's The Thing is classic.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love a good Lovecraft sort of thing. And In the Mouth of Madness might be my favorite, not actually Lovecraft movie, because they don't actually say Cthulhu or Yog-Sothoth, but it's, of course, that's what they're going for.
Yeah, yeah. It also has Anakin Skywalker in it on a little bike.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
Isn't that where you have the double irises? The
squid eye.
Yeah, the squid eye.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah,
and
that
actually,
was quite a fun one.
From a voice acting standpoint, there's a magical moment in the Mouth of Madness when Sam Neill first gets brought into the asylum. There's the doctor at the asylum, and then the doctor that they bring in. The doctor at the asylum is played by John Glover, and the doctor they bring in is played by David Warner. John Glover is the voice of the Riddler in Batman the Animated Series, and David Warner is the voice of Ra's al Ghul from Batman the Animated Series. So for a fleeting moment, you have the Riddler and Ra's al Ghul just like talking. Yeah, so that's my level of nerdiness. Like I'm watching the movie and it's like, that's the Riddler, you know.
I love it. I met David Warner very briefly in Wimbledon.
That's awesome.
One time. It didn't even occur to me that it was him. I was there doing some work. There are a bunch of big studios north of London, like Pinewood and what have you.
Yeah.
And I was going up to one of those, I forget which one it was, to do some extra work in a movie with Kate Blanchett. I was a student. And it didn't occur to me who I'd just spoken to until I'd asked him for directions. I thought he knew exactly where the studio was. Was that fucking David Warner? So for those who don't know the name of the actor, you will definitely know him. This is the guy who was There Are Four Lights in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes.
And, he's the photographer who gets his head cut off in The Omen.
The Omen, yeah.
Amazing guy.
Evil in Time Bandits.
Yes,
I think that was the first time I saw him. Oh boy. Yeah, I think that's my favorite role of his. Because he's so just chewing on the scenery and he's just loving how evil he is. Oh my God.
Unhinged, yeah.
Oh God, just so good. And again, throwing himself into that ridiculous character. Yeah. That's one of the most amazing things about Batman the Animated Series is that the voice director, Andrea Romano, one of the reasons that Batman the Animated Series stands out still to this day is that they didn't get cartoon actors. Like, they didn't get Mel Blanc, who can do all these character actors. They got actors who did these voices and who had these voices in them. And David Warner was the perfect Ra's al Ghul. CCH Pounder, the perfect Amanda Waller.
Yes.
Viola Davis is great, but like CCH Pounder nailed that. Kevin Conroy, come on. Like, I love Jason O'Mara, but come on, you know, Mark Hamill. Who Can he stop defining pop culture?
Yeah.
It's okay, you're Luke Skywalker. That should be enough. Andrew the Joker, fuck off! Like, come on, pick a lane. Harrison Ford, okay, you're Han Solo, that's great. Andrew Indiana, shut up! Oh, good, now you're the Red Hulk. Okay, great, you know. Stay in your lane, guys, or just anyway. But yeah, I think it's because of Andrea Romano and all the stuff that she did. That was one of the things that kind of opened me up to more than this is more than a cartoon. She did Tiny Toons and Rescue Rangers and Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, Superman the Animated Series. And to this day, I still have trouble when I have an audition. Like I've had, God damn, at this point, I feel like I've had half a dozen auditions for Darkseid, and I always have to not do Darkseid from the Andrea Romano DC stuff because it's already been done. And that's my first thing. Every time I see the role, it's like, that would be so cool. I'm never going to be as good as him.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. But it's still, yeah. So it's, she did so much to shape where I'm at. She's just magical. Just the effort she put in. Again, just like with Bethesda, they put the effort in and they said, you know what? Why don't we try doing something that not everybody else is doing? And that's why you can put on Batman the Animated Series today and be like, yeah, this still holds up. This is still, yeah.
I'm just seeing it in chat. Alia posted, one of my aunts was a close friend of David Warner's. I'd gone to visit her, and imagine the surprise when he opened the door, not my aunt. And Pixel, I really don't want to offend, but did your aunt have sex with David Warner? That's based.
That's based.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I never thought to ask.
Yeah, I have a weird, so it's not having sex with David Warner, but
Aww.
one of my best friends, okay, he's half British, half Portuguese. His British grandmother babysat Tom Jones, a young Tom Jones.
Aw, that's
Wow.
So no sex, but like, I kind of wish there was, because Tom Jones, come on. Sex bomb.
Yeah, that's
Like,
pretty
not
cool.
many people can cover Prince and do something perfect. And he covered Prince and did a really perfect cover of Kiss. Like, it's never going to top the original because, come on, it's Prince, but yeah. He put all of his Jones into that cover. By which I mean his penis. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I see, Khan, you're in Lucent Citadel.
Yeah, I'm just
Did you want to
thinking.
play? Did you want to play the video?
So, yeah, a little bit of backstory, because a lot of people, they'll be familiar with Zorin, you know, the set that's named after him, the boss fight, the mechanics, whatever. But there's just so much more going on, and I'm a guy who listens to a lot of the voiceovers and really pays attention, and we do story runs in trials in our guild, Ninja Pulls. So I thought I was paying a great deal of attention, but when we went in there just a few days ago and recorded a nice clean record with none of our voices, all the other audio turned way down. Unfortunately, it's still pretty loud, but Zoran really comes through, and I've edited that together so that we don't have to see all the stuff without you in it, Paul. But I was blown away by how much there actually is in this character and in the delivery, and just in setting it up, because it goes pretty fast. It's only a few minutes long. You really feel him change from swaggering a-hole to desperate evil guy by the end.
That was absolutely what DB Cooper was the director.
Yeah.
And she's an absolute sorceress.
Yeah, she's
first
great.
of all. But yeah, that's one thing she had to keep reining. Well, first off, she kept saying, "You're too Hamill," because I kept slipping into the Hamill Joker because the Hamill Joker is perfect. And a good director will eke you back from that, because people listening would be like, "Wow, so this guy really likes Mark Hamill's Joker." But yeah, she kept saying that, like, there are segments to this. So my first read, I was starting at like a 10. She's like, "You'll die if you start there. So let's try this instead." It's actually, let me turn down my. Okay, there might be a little echo, but I'm so excited. I got a commercial. I got an ad right as that came on.
Oh,
This
well,
looks like a.
We'll just give it a sec.
yeah, we'll just get
Did
set
you
up.
Did you wanna play the OG first?
Yeah, all right. Let's listen to the so this is the audition, right?
Let's just give it a minute. Yeah.
Oh yes, please. Yeah.
When you were mentioning favorite horror, I immediately thought Sam Neill, Event Horizon.
Yeah. Event
That is,
Horizon's great. The thing is, I think it's good, but people, whenever I hear people say, "Oh, dude, it's the most fucked up horror movie," it's like, you need to see more horror movies.
Well, yeah.
Like, it's really good, and again, you have that Lovecraft kind of thing. And I do like it, but it was never my favorite. Yeah. But again, what is it with Sam Neill just being in really good horror movies?
He's in so many good movies. What's that really creepy one where the co-actress had to like take a
Possession?
break?
Yeah, you're talking about
That's the one.
Possession.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Possession is so ridiculously good from the first shot. That's another kind of Lovecrafty one.
Yep.
You have no idea what the fuck is happening in that movie.
Nope.
And it's like some sort of a Shoggoth sex scene, and it's like, what? And
Yeah,
Sam
well,
Neill's
yeah.
is a private investigator. Oh man, it's insane. Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen it, Possession, 80s, I think. Italian, I believe. The director is
Yes.
Italian. Yeah. Yeah.
She
Okay.
genuinely needed therapy after that movie.
I needed therapy after seeing that movie. Okay.
Do you want to play the audition first, Khan?
Yeah, I
Oh,
will.
yeah,
I'm
go
I'm
for
just getting this resized.
Yeah, thanks for the follows there. Welcome in to a special edition of our Writhing Raid Train with Paul Guyette himself. And we're just going to listen to some awesome voiceover acting, the sort of the audition piece, but then also what's actually in the game. Yes.
So you get to see the sort of the evolution of the character.
Yeah.
Paul
Okay, I
Guyette?
need to unmute.
Paul Guyette? Zorin, take one. Die alone or together. Your choice. Your friends will get you killed. I hope this hurts. You are surprisingly hard to kill, but I think I'll succeed this time. Take two. Die alone or together. Your choice. Your friends will get you killed. I hope this hurts. You are surprisingly hard to kill, but I think I'll succeed this time. Take three. Die alone or together. Your choice. Your friends will get you killed. I hope this hurts.
Spoiler alert, our friends did get us killed many, many
You're
times.
surprisingly hard to kill. But I think I'll succeed this time. Take four. Die alone or together. Your choice. Your friends will get you killed. I hope this hurts.
Okay, so that was the audition. And now we can watch the actual. So here we go. Here's the actual trial run, with most of the stuff that doesn't have Zorin talking fast forwarded or skipped.
Okay, I'm gonna game down then so I can hear it.
And yeah, pay attention, guys, to the way he becomes slowly more unhinged and less confident as it goes on. It's really great. Oh yeah, there's some other demon-filtered voices right at the start. So the first few are not Paul. This is just the enemies and trash.
This is as far as you go.
Just for comparison purposes. It's a very cool trial, by the way.
ends here. Die by my hand.
Okay, here we go.
Make sure no one follows me. Like them.
There's nothing quite like that.
That belongs to me. You can't have it.
There's no other Dremora that quite sounds so creepy. It's amazing.
How's the morale? Plummeting in the face of your defeat. This time, destroy them.
So he still sounds pretty confident and calm, doesn't he?
Stop fighting. You can't win. Beating them. No matter. You'll never catch up to me.
So some of those lines are triggered by us getting the boss down to a certain threshold. Once they're in execute, Zoran realizes he might lose.
You're too late, pest. Prepare for the inevitable.
Zoran, do not unleash that creature!
After this, no one will stop me. Find someone else.
I love that line as well. He's the boss of the trial and they find someone else.
That's a lucky hit. Nothing more. I'm not done with you.
That's him being an a-hole. He takes enough damage. And he leaves the arena to heal himself.
Sword will finish you.
So you can't kill him. Then he comes back. Arrogant as ever.
This is what the arcane nut looks like.
Okay.
I knew it was unstable,
And this is the thing Zoran is
You
after.
take it.
But we've
You'll be
beaten him
faster.
to it. So now we're going to have to escape. But just before we get to the exit, guess who's waiting?
The nut is not an object you can contain. Let us pass on it.
The nut will listen to me. It is mine.
And he sounds really different here. The tone is
Take this.
totally shifted.
Work together.
Take a good long look. Your friends will get you killed. You can't hide from the Citadel. These mirrors will be your doom. Suffer together.
obey me!
And he dies.
The Larka is right over here. Bring the knot.
I'm always a little bit sad he doesn't get a sort of a defeat
Contain the knot, or this will never be
line of dialogue.
Energy is contained.
And then I cut back to a little bonus shot of him lying there dead. There we go.
But yeah, Rigmortis and Belora, thank you so much for helping out. Aw, poor Zorin.
That is always so. I just love being an asshole. Just something about like getting to play a villain. Like if you stack up all the roles I've done, most of them are just bad. But getting to be a villain is so much fun. Cause like if it weren't for them, like Superman, I don't know, he's flying around. He's like, I guess everything's cool here. But like it takes the villain to like do the thing, and you get to just explore, yeah, all the craziness. Like I just saw something that I don't know if anybody's ever played Lost Ark. It's I think originally a Korean, and so I am literally over 60 voices in that game at this point. Some of them are literally like ugly drunk guy too, and my line is, hey, what? But I'm also Akan and Kazaros and Vergris and some pretty big characters. And I actually stumbled across this fight. So Akan is the god of plagues or something. And I think in the base game, like, you don't fight him. You just kind of hear like Akan is this guy. But in a recent the release, you actually get to fight Akan. And I remember the session was 4 hours of me screaming about the plague and getting the plague, and you will never fight the plague. And the voice is just, my throat was beef the next day. But it was so much fun just to be this badass, evil, rotting mantis man with like a 24-pack. Like, it's not even a 6-pack. But the coolest part about it, I found the music, the Lost Ark like song that goes along with my fight, my epic 9-hour fight. It was like 13 pages of just me yelling and attacking and getting attacked. It starts out with this crazy, beautiful, like orchestral arrangement, then turns into straight up fucking metal. And it's the most badass thing. But yeah, so little things like that. I would not have seen that coming, but it is just delightful. And like the performance is like, yeah, okay, that sounded cool. But of course, when I'm doing it, I'm just yelling, you know, I'm in my booth yelling into a microphone. Then there's the post-production, then there's the music, then there's the sound effects. And it's just like, so actually getting to see this in context is fantastic, because no matter how great the director is or the lore master, you know, seeing everybody, and that was just chaos. Like I had no clue what the hell I was looking at, but happy to be there.
Yeah.
And my hope is all these characters will come back somehow. I don't know, but I feel like, you know.
Was Zorin a particularly challenging or fun one to play? Like, how would you characterize that one as opposed to some of the others? You've already said how it might be a little bit different working with ZOS and Bethesda than other studios sometimes.
Yeah. With Zorin, it was actually a little more lighter and a little more fun. Whereas, like, you know, Urgot didn't have a lot of humor. He had a couple, like, lines that were meant to be jokey. Ascendant Lord, very dark. Akan, a lot of yelling, very dark. But yeah, with Zorin, clearly he was having a good time, at least at first, you know, like he was just being kind of snide. And then, like, you know, on the second and third phase, it's like, oh, okay, I'm actually going to be, you know, hurt here. Yeah. So that actually makes me wonder, because I recorded death stuff and defeat stuff And that's the other thing. Like, you know, I'll have a 4-hour session and several pages, but maybe it doesn't make the edit, or maybe it's like, we don't want such a big death, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. In many ways, he's not the end of the trial. The trial ends when you deliver this knot that you're carrying. So maybe that's the reason, and that's the weird thing with trials and dungeons. These characters they're a little bit like comic strips in a way, that the story is very, very dense and condensed, and it plays out in a very it's much more larger than life than even a typical video game voiceover. And we were talking to Becky Gnowski about this, actually, and there is so much noise in a trial. You know, got 12 players doing their thing, and you're sort of half listening to the dialogue of the bosses and stuff they serve to create atmosphere, but also they're telegraphing what's coming. A mechanic is coming, or you're nearly there. You know, the boss is an execute. And she was saying, the challenge really with that is to get the actors to go loud enough, because they don't believe you. Say, no, seriously, you cannot go too big with this. So that's why I love that Zorin kind of has an arc. He kind of has character development across the trial. That's really, really cool. It's really well done.
But that is something interesting, because I remember when certain characters who you run into again and again and again, I remember I think Ascendant Lord and Bacaro were like 3 or 4 sessions, but at the beginning of each one of them, there was one where like Bacaro would say, "Oh, it's so good to see you again," but we had to record lines as if people were critical pathing this and had never met Bacaro. So in the last part of High Isle, I still had to go, "Oh, hello, my name is Bacaro," you know, as if you'd somehow never run into this character.
Yeah.
And again, that's with Bethesda. There's a lot of like, you know, sometimes it's branching things. Sometimes you can just take a different path. But it was the same thing with Orahim, who I did in Starfield, in Shattered Space. There were all these different branches, because when you first meet him, and again, he's a reasonably small character, but the background of this character was so ridiculously well written, and you can walk right past it. It's a side mission.
Amazing.
Or you can sit there and revisit him and see everything. And so we had things where I bump into him, the player bumps into him and says, and he's like, "Okay, if you want to know more about this, come and meet me at my shack," basically. And when you first come in, he says, "Have a seat." And depending on whether you sit after saying, "No, I'm okay," or you don't sit, it's 3 completely different things.
Yeah.
And I love that too. You know, I mean, from a, you know, replayability. I'm a big fan of replayability.
Yeah.
But
the permutations of dialogue choices. And I'm sorry to cut you off for a moment, but hey, Zynode and Raiders, thank you so much and welcome on in.
Welcome in,
sorry,
Raiders.
when you arrived, Paul was mid-sentence. This is not a man I want to interrupt. Come on. But thank you so much, man. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely evening. A lovely start to the weekend as well. We are here with Paul Guyette, as you may have noticed, the voice of the Ascendant Lord, Zorin, in Lucent Citadel. We just watched a playback of that trial with sort of highlighting those voice performances, which are just so easy to miss, but such a delight. Even before I realized it was Paul doing it, I remember noticing that guy, because I've done a lot of off-tanking in Lucent Citadel, and on that second fight, you're the one, it's the second tank who has to deal with Zorin being an a-hole.
And me, the healer.
Yeah, and
hey,
the kite
Zynode.
healer, and he zooms back and forth between you. But yeah, welcome on in, everybody. Thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. And Zynode saying, "Booyah! Unforgiven Carpet. Boom!" Thank you so much, folks. And if you've got questions for Paul, fire away. We've been nerding out about horror films, Batman, all kinds of video games. So please, fire away. And sorry, Paul. Back to you.
No, this is what I'm here for. This is something I will never, like, again, so I stream as a hobby. Again, I don't know how professional streamers can do that. Like, it blows my mind when I see people with, you know, tens of thousands of people in chat. I have like a dozen dedicated weirdos that show up and it's much like that. We'll talk about VO or whatever.
Sounds perfect. Yeah.
That's all like, yeah. But yeah, so if you ever do want to swing by, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesday is Spooky Tuesday, where we play spooky games. We're about to finish Crow Country, which is a lot of fun. It's like a PS1, it's a throwback to like the PS1 survival horror.
Here's the link,
genre.
guys. Follow now.
Thank you. And then Thursday, I call Thirthly Thursday because it's Thursday. Thirthly. And I just started playing Goat Simulator 3, which is maybe the most perfect game.
Ooh.
Simply because, well, here's why. The purity of vision. You ever get that where you're playing a game and you get the sense that the composer, the actor, the director, the producer, everyone is on the same page, charging in one direction.
Yeah.
Take that and turn up the stupid to 1 billion. And that is what Goat Simulator 3 is. Like, I'll tell you everything you need to know about this game. Goat Simulator came out a while ago. They never released a Goat Simulator 2. The next game is Goat Simulator 3.
I actually never even realized. I never clocked that. That's funny. Intentionally.
Oh.
That's like a Spinal Tap thing. We don't need it to.
Yeah. It's literally, if this Spinal Tap was a game, Goat Simulator. And if you want a good double feature, Goat Simulator and Untitled Goose Game, where you are playing chaos incarnate as an animal. But the self-awareness in Goat Simulator and the references, there's game references. They had a goddamn reference to PT. The Hideo Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, fucking Norman Reedus Silent Hills game that we will never get.
Yeah.
In Goat Simulator 3.
Wow, you're really making the case of this game. I've already heard a lot of praise for it, to be honest. Not played it.
I'm angry at how amazing it is. I'm sitting there shaking my head in anger and laughing. It's the game made by gamers for gamers. I feel like that's a very rare thing.
Yeah, it's claimed often, but it's not always accurate.
Sounds like goatee.
Exactly. A love letter to the fans. I feel like it's so easy to say that, but Goat Simulator is a love letter to the fans. Enter the Gungeon is one of my favorite recent games. That is a love letter to the fans. Just the puns alone and the deceptive simplicity to that game.
Well, speaking of being goated, guys, you now got a whole host of treats to follow here in chat. We got Zynode, we got Paul Guyette himself, we got Tony Silver. You know what to do. Do me a favor.
Zynode
do
is
yourself
like one
a
of
favor.
the OG oldest. Not that he's old, but
yeah, be careful there, Maya.
Oldest person on Twitch. He's 98 years old. He can't see what he's playing. He can't hear what he's playing. He's old as fuck. Give him a follow.
Actually, Zynode and Maya are pretty close in terms of age, I think. So Maya, you can't say anything. But yeah, I've met Zynode in Amsterdam and in London last year. A lovely guy. You guys, you probably know who he is already. But in case you don't, he's been doing this. Maya's not kidding. He's been making guides and builds for ESO for a long time. When I was just getting into group content, this guy was already making builds and guides and whatnot. So yeah, if you're not aware of Zynode somehow, fix that.
Thank you for your service. When you have something as huge as this, that is the kind of thing that I've recently started playing Phasmo, and I will never stumble upon the monkey's paw. So there's the people that have made these guides. There's people, the minutia in that game where, if the ghost blinks 838, 838, 238, 328, it's obviously an obake. If it closes the door and then slams it within 1 second, obviously it's a morai. Oh, well, if it blows out a firelight between 24 and 29 seconds, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Like, again, I love that. I love
We always got these wrong.
Yeah.
Always.
We never get the freaking ghost right, even when we're 100% sure. We never get it right.
I'm getting better because I'm learning that there's certain bullshit. Like, if you see ghost orbs, that doesn't mean shit. That could be a mimic. Mimics have fake ghost orbs, but those are the only things that a ghost can fake. You can't fake a spirit box. You can't, And I'm watching some of these people because there's the Blood Eye, the Crimson Eye event that's happening right now for Halloween.
Yep.
There are people who play it with no evidence and no sanity. They enter the house and the ghost starts haunting. And there's no panic in their voice. They're like, let's loop this guy around the table. Okay, well, he's moving a little slowly to the left, more so than to the right. Okay, that's a Dio.
Yeah, I'm just there like, no,
You've been there 2 seconds. Yeah. But again, I appreciate the love that these people have for it, and it's the people that make these guides that can help idiots like us to get one thing right. Can I tell you how excited I was when I turned on the speaker box? The speaker box is one of my favorite Outcast albums. That's why I keep saying speaker box. I turned on the spirit box and I said, "Hey, how old are you?" Sorry?
Aquemini for me.
Aquemini is fantastic. Yeah. The whole oeuvre of Outcast. They did that. How often do you get a good song about Scooby-Doo? Like an original
almost never
rap song about Scooby-Doo. Outcast. It takes Outcast. Anyway. But yeah, so I asked the spirit box, who are you? And I heard Writhing. And I knew it was a Diogen. And everyone I was playing with was like, whoa, what the hell was that? I'm like, that's Diogen breathing. It's a Diogen. I felt really cool because of the people that had made this community and these encyclopedic, like, if you hear this, it's this. And if this happens, it's this. And it's clearly the twins because I saw something that said the twins are not two separate ghosts. Think of a ghost with a 3-meter interaction circle and a 16-meter interaction circle.
Wow, you've gone deep on this.
Wow.
Respect.
Yeah.
Not intentionally. It's social media, man. It just...
We were playing with a friend who he was too scared. So he would never come in, or he would just always be in a cupboard. That was it.
He'd always be checking the cameras in the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go.
Sure. The guy in the chair. You need a guy in the chair. Yeah.
It is really good. Just the first time I played the sort of the intro thing to like how do you play this game.
The tutorial,
I didn't even want to go into that room with all the. Sort of, I was like, I don't want to go in. I'm not gonna go in. So my group was like, this is gonna be good.
This is something I've learned. The more you play it, you begin to get a sense of security. Like you go in there with the incense and it's like, no matter what happens, this incense will stop the ghost. And I have 5 seconds. It's 6 seconds, of course, if it's an obake. But I have 5 seconds to run and hide and break line of sight. So it's weird that, like, when I first started playing it, when that spirit box went off, I would squeak like a hamster. When the thing appeared in the dots, I'd shit myself. And now it's kind of like, oh, we got dots. Oh, we got speaker. Now I'm asking the ghost. One thing I always ask the ghost, what do your nipples
look like? Are you French?
Oh, no. I go immediately for what do your nipples look like.
I was actually going to ask you. I was going to ask you, do you have a thing? Because that's a thing that a lot of people develop after a few times playing Phasmo is the aggro phrase, to taunt the ghost. And one of our friends was, "Are you French?" I don't know why.
I just keep calling them by their name, and that just pisses them off. So, hey, can you hear me? Are you scared of me? What are you doing? Why aren't you here? And eventually they just,
There's one, when you ask the Ouija board, how many pickles can you fit in your butt? And it will sometimes it will pick a number, it will say goodbye, and then it will immediately hunt. But yeah, what do your nipples look like is a 9 Inch Nails did a cover of Soft Cell's Memorabilia, and they have a sample of somebody from the band saying, what do your nipples look like over and over again. So, and I remember I was playing with a bunch of people. One of the very first times I ever played it, years ago. I only played it once or twice a couple of years ago, and recently got back into it. And I had no idea what any of this was, because I'm a console pig. I'm not a PC gamer. So having to do anything quickly with a mouse and keyboard, it just killed me. It's never going to happen. So I was like, I guess I'll take the talkie box. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't even know what button to click. And I'm clicking buttons and I'm like, what do your nipples look like? Hunt. Immediately. And it was like,
we're going to have to try it.
Be a coincidence. And then it happened the second time. And it's like, okay, ghosts do not want to know. Don't want to tell you what they're.
They don't want to go there.
Like
You want to go there?
yeah, no, there are still some things.
How many pickles does fit in your?
Yeah, I think, yeah, and I think I saw Ghost say 40 and then immediately hunt. So I don't know if post death something happened. I have no idea. But actually, so speaking of console pigs, real quick, I do have somebody. I was on a charity stream with somebody named, I think, Unicorn Girl. I don't know if they're in chat right now. But she found out that I was in ESO and was like, that's so cool. I love ESO. But she plays it on console and has always had problems finding a console community.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody out there has resources or whatever.
In our Discord, we have all manner of lovely
also,
people.
Also, Zyno, who we were shouting out a minute ago, he plays on console. I mean, he plays on both.
Sure.
I believe, but he definitely spends time on console and with that community. I think that's... I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
I'll point her towards that, because there's nothing more sad than like finding this thing that you love and then, finding out that it's not
Can't
the
share
original thing. Yeah. Because I've heard that, I actually don't know, but I guess cross-platform is not a thing yet.
No.
No, and it's not really something that's probably going to be a thing.
It might be one day.
Time soon. Yeah.
I'm one of those people that I think the exclusivity, when it's not technology based, is the worst thing for games. If you make a game that not everybody can play, not everybody can play it. How is there anything beyond that? Like, okay, timed exclusives? Okay, sure, whatever, eventually that's cool, but like, why would you deprive people of this? Is it really making you that much more money?
Yeah, I think if they were making it now, it would have crossplay.
It's just, it's
sure. Oh gosh, yeah.
It now, yeah.
Exactly, and I can't imagine. Like, I know it's not just a button you can flip, but like, as soon as Phasmophobia came to console and I'm able to play it smoothly with the controller, love it. But yeah, just I don't know. I know it's a monopoly, but that kind of is like, I would kind of like that monopoly, where a game comes out and everybody can play it. Spider-Man is an incredible game. Marvel Spider-Man is perfect, and it wasn't available except for on PlayStation for months, years. But yeah, and this is the thing. I have never in my life bought a console for a game. I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan, and I know that this new thing called Knock OD Knock, I know nothing about it except it's Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele, and it's going to be a goddamn Xbox exclusive. And if I have to buy a console and end up spending $700 for a game, Kojima's one of the people I might do it for. But I'd sure like to just buy it on PlayStation.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Johnny's saying, been listening to this stream like a podcast whilst I'm going for a walk. It's been so entertaining. Well, I'm glad we're entertaining. I just noticed the pinned message.
It's all Paul, obviously.
Obviously,
Let's be real.
I just noticed the pinned message. Says, raising money for the American Heart ass. And
Good.
then it
the heart does have several sphincters. There's, there's the card. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking the esophagus. The esophagus has the cardiac and the pyloric sphincter. Ventricles. The heart has ventricles.
Goku is saying, would buy console because of Goat Simulator 4.
Yeah.
Oh, if they can make a game more perfect than Goat Simulator 3, yes. but like I don't know if you've ever played a game and you're like, you can't make this game better. Like, you've reached the end. You've hit the level cap. That's kind of Goat Simulator 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I definitely have had that experience.
Yeah.
Maybe Dawn of War, the first one, was pretty close to that. Like, unbelievably close to perfect, I would say. I don't think they knew what they had when they were working on it.
I think that's what makes it perfect, because just like with any creative endeavor, you can't sit down at a blank piece of paper and go, I'm going to write the best book ever.
Yeah.
Like, good luck, man. But kind of setting that bar high, yeah.
But yeah, again, we were talking about early examples for each of us individually of voice acting in video games that makes you sit up and pay attention, whether it's good, bad, revelatory. Dawn of War actually was one for me because there was so much voice in there. And I don't know if you know the game, but it is a StarCraft, like, you know, a Command and Conquer RTS.
I knew a lot of people that played StarCraft, and didn't people like StarCraft 2 was like one of the most anticipated games ever.
Huge.
Yeah,
It's still pretty big.
Wow,
but it's sort of
cool.
an unofficial community these days because it's getting on long in the tooth, and I don't know how much official support there is left, but because it's Warhammer 40k, right, there's incredibly larger than life, very silly characters and tropes, so the voiceovers are extremely British and over the top, just amazing. And whenever you click on your unit, they'll say something ridiculous. A lot of fun.
Have had I'm not even kidding, I'll say dozens of auditions for Warhammer games over the years, and it is some of the most ridiculous. Like, every reference is basically Gimli, and then but it'd be like, we want a Cornish Gimli, we want a Westie Gimli, we want a Scouse Gimli, and it was like, I can try, but so yeah.
One of the few franchises where it probably helps to be British.
Yeah.
Because it is. I read a really interesting article about this. We won't get too deep into this, but D&D is a very American thing. It's full of tropes from American popular culture and storytelling tradition. So the frontier, cowboys, and westerns, basically. There's a lot of that stuff in there, which isn't necessarily apparent until you start thinking about it. And Warhammer is the same. There's a lot of post-war European and specifically British stuff in there. The class divide, which is such a thing over here, which blows my mind, you know, because I'm Danish and we don't have anything quite like that, but it is everywhere in this country. Football hooliganism. The orcs are basically football hooligans, but sort of lovable. And the Dark Elves are just posh boys who do too many drugs. And yeah, this article really blew my mind. I'd never really thought about it before, but it is one reason why Europeans and Brits sometimes are a little bit faltering in their engagement with D&D at first. Sure. And the same with Americans getting into Warhammer. It doesn't click in the same way because these tropes aren't necessarily familiar around the world. They are kind of localized in a really fun way.
That's cool.
Oh, that's very off topic.
So no. That absolutely fits into it. I mean, again, it's interesting to think of it like that. You'd think that people would want to embrace new tropes, although I guess there is something comforting about the tropes that you've just been brought up with. I don't know. I feel like if you watch and if you absorb enough media, you'll start to want different tropes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, shout out to I love Danish is one of my favorite languages because it just sounds like sassy German to me. I love Danish. I love Welsh, and one of my favorite languages is Portuguese.
Oh,
because one of my best friends, Phil Tucker, he became a writer. Actually, I'll dip back into him with D&D in a moment, but. Half British, half Portuguese, so that was the swarthiest goddamn accent ever. But one of my favorite things was he has two brothers. There's Phil, Nick, and Mark. They're all a year apart. His mother was Portuguese. His grandmother, Vovo, who was 3 feet tall and just a dynamo. And she was perpetually in her late 90s for like 20 years. Just incredible. We would, I'd hang out at their place, and they would play a game called Phase 10. You ever heard of this?
No.
So imagine if Uno were more of an asshole.
Can't.
And that's Phase 10. So these people were proficient. They were assassins at Phase 10. And there were levels. There's Phase 1, which is like put down 2 pair, Phase 2, and the phases get more and more difficult. So you're trying to finish your phases up to Phase 10, while everybody is just absolutely trying to set you on fire. So one of the most beautiful experiences of my life was sitting amidst their family and having Phil and his 2 brothers and his mother and grandmother arguing in Portuguese. And Portuguese, if you're not familiar with the sound of it, anybody out there, is if French and Spanish had a sexy baby made of honey. So just sitting, drowning in this ocean of sexy honey, and it's indescribable. It's just such a curvy language.
Curvy is a great word for it, yeah.
Yeah, it's curvy, and I feel like Danish has that curviness, and so does Welsh. Welsh just has like too many consonants, and then too many vowels, and then somehow not enough of either, and then too many of a third thing. It's I think Welsh is the closest thing to the actual language of the old gods, like Cthulhu. Yeah.
Well, it is ancient,
Speaking
and it has
of
evolved
spicy,
relatively little, hasn't it?
sexy spicy, welcome in Red Mercy, and welcome in Red Mercy's community. Thank you so much for the raid. This is a very, very special stream because we've got Paul Gayet with us. You might be familiar with, you're definitely familiar with his voice if you've played ESO, and plus a lot of other games. Like Zorin from Lucent Citadel, the Ascendant Lord on High Isle, the Shrouded Axeman.
Yeah, can we get...
Did not know that.
Could you do the Shrouded Axeman voice for us? I'm really sorry to pimp you out in front of everyone.
Oh, God. No, actually, I'm happy to, if you can find it. I recorded that in 2022. And I don't remember exactly what he sounds like.
If you
want to send that to me on Discord, on YouTube, I will listen and happily do that. Yeah, because I just remember having a lot of fun with it.
I'm gonna go to that dungeon right now.
Okay.
Excellent.
Awesome.
But yeah, so going back to D&D really briefly. So I was kind of a nerd in high school, and I had some other friends who were nerdy. One of them was a guy who was kind of into space and stuff like that. He actually got me into They Might Be Giants, which has become one of my favorite bands. And Phil is he was always making incredible. He actually introduced me to White Wolf before it was World of Darkness, like Mage the Ascension, Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf, the Apocalypse, those gaming systems. And White Wolf compared to D&D was always more performative and more story based, as opposed to like roll for this, roll for this, roll for this, roll for this, roll for this. But Phil was the first person who ever put together a D&D campaign for me, and I knew nothing. So what he did is he gave me a list of all the spells going from level 1 to level 9, and he said, pick this many from each category, and then I'm going to put together the scenario for you, but I'm not going to tell you what any of the spells do. And it was so joyfully psychotic because I had no idea what any of these things do. And at one point, I was at a long banquet table with the king, and there was this guy who I was supposed to kill, and he was apparently a bad wizard. And I'm sitting there at the dinner table, and I'm like, let's do brain death. I cast brain death. And I cast brain death, not knowing what it is. And the wizard immediately picks up that this guy across the table from us is trying to cast brain death on him. and you know, I don't need to say that it spiraled out of control from there. But yeah, so that was my very first experience with D&D, and that's always kind of stuck with me. And yeah, and today, I was the weird kid who you know, played video games and did funny voices. That is now my job. Phil Tucker. He writes doorstop high fantasy books that are
That's brilliant.
so in-depth and incredible. And actually, the only audiobooks I've ever narrated for Audible are his. So I have probably the most specific caveat in my contract. Audible will reach out and say, hey, would you be interested in reading this book? And I'll say, is Phil Tucker the author? And they'll say, no. And I'll say, I'm sorry, I'll have to pass. Probably not good for my career, but again, the dedication to the bit, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you got to commit to the bit. Yeah,
you have to commit to the bit, exactly. And then our other kind of friend who was into space, he worked at NASA and JBL, and like he was the director of, the vice president of special projects at Virgin Galactic, and worked at Virgin Oceanic, and like yeah. So it's always kind of cool. Like, you know how you're 5 and you want to be a Spider-Man. We became Spider-Man, so it can happen. Just, you know, keep doing the thing. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a couple more raids. What's fun is Rather Dashing. Welcome in, my friend. How you doing? We've got Kamul coming in as well. All right, I'm just going to do the shout-outs as soon as I can. Welcome in, everyone, and yes, welcome to a very, very special stream. I'm going to do this again.
We need to make a little more noise than that, Maya. That's a big set of raids today. Don't remember the last time. Yeah, wow. Don't remember the last time we got so many raids. That's crazy.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. This is a very special part of our Writhing raid train. We are live with Paul Guyette, the incredible, the wonderful voice actor that we all love in ESO and many, many other games. People already today were like, what? He did this one as well? Because, yeah.
Yeah, people are blown away by how goated this guy is. And you're being an absolute delight, sir, as well. Thank you again so much.
This is, again, it's like I'll talk quietly alone to myself in the closet, but the fact that people are interested and it's for a good cause, come on, this is ridiculously
well, we're all into gaming and horror and various other things.
Exactly.
So yeah, and we listened to a playthrough of Paul's performance as Zorin just earlier today. That is on YouTube, so I can.
Oh, nice. Yeah, please. I'd love.
Let's open it up.
I'll tell you what. I'll send you the link to that for sure once we're done.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because seeing it in practice is always so. It's always so ridiculous. Like, especially catching it in the wild. Like, aside from video games and animation, I'm also still a commercial actor. And I recently saw one of my commercials for Jardians, where I am a turtle. And my catchphrase is, "Not so fast, chronic kidney disease." Which, come on, put that on a shirt. But like, yeah, so that's, yeah, it's still, it never gets old. I've been doing this since 2003. It never gets old. It's not always fun. It's not always ESO. Sometimes you're a turtle talking about chronic kidney disease. But there's something that's just ridiculous about, hey, I'm watching an episode of House, and the commercial is me telling chronic kidney disease to slow down.
That's amazing.
Ridiculous.
So, according to IMDb, your first gaming gig, voiceover gig, was WoW back in 2004? Is that accurate?
Very first game. No. So the way IMDb works is that
it's wrong again.
It just has its dates wrong. So because World of Warcraft has been out for so long,
I see.
It just says I was in it. My first World of Warcraft I was an orc in Battle for Azeroth, and actually my director was J.B. Blanc, he's a director and an actor and an awesome guy. And actually in that session, he was in LA, I was in New York. Towards the end, I had to do a lot of like and like really deep guttural stuff.
The Alliance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I got the hiccups. which happens with a lot of actors who have to do deep stuff. Fred Tascaccio, the guy who's basically been Hulk in every animated Marvel thing for a long time.
Yeah, and he was
it
in
happens to him too.
Star Trek Lower Decks, right? Tata
Yes,
Shore, is that his name?
Tatasciore. It's a very impressive name that I cannot pronounce, and I apologize.
The only reason I would say Tatasciore as well, because it's Italian, right?
I think it's Italian. Yeah.
But there's a planet they go to in Star Trek Lower Decks called Tata Shore, and I'm pretty sure it's named after him. But I could be wrong.
Cool. No, it probably is. That is so cool.
Anyway,
Lower
he's
Decks
been doing
was
this.
so cool.
Yeah.
I remember auditioning for that too, and being like, God, that would be cool. Honestly, the number of things I book versus the number of things I audition for. Oh man.
Yeah.
But it really does feel like, wow, you're even considering me for this. That's nuts. But yeah, so I got the hiccups and we had to finish the session. But like, so I would literally just be like be, hiccuping every moment. And JB, bless his heart, was trying not to mockingly laugh himself to bits, but he was mockingly laughing, and he's like, "I'm so sorry, this isn't funny," and just cracking up, which is, it's great. So like, we needed 3 h's, so I would keep going, and it would be, and then we'd get 3 out of the 9, and he's like, "Perfect, we got 3, moving on." And then years later, I was in a scripted podcast called Lethal Lit, that was also directed by JB, and we were at the table read, and I'd never met any of these people face to face, but we were all face to face in New York, and we're reading through, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and we're doing the introductions around the table, and it's like, why do I know his voice? Because I know he's an actor, but why do I know his voice? I actually know it, and he all of a sudden goes, "Did you get the hiccups in a World of Warcraft orc session?" And I was like, "You're the guy who mocked me mercilessly." And he's like, "Yeah, you had hiccups, really?" Yeah, and it was, lovely guy.
Thanks,
I've worked with him several times since then and love him to death. And it is hilarious, but yeah.
You would remember that. Yeah.
Oh,
Is it?
it still happens sometimes, yeah. What was the first video game I ever did? Gosh, was it Red Dead 2? You know what?
Wes would be so jealous
tell me what
about
else
that.
is on. Tell me what else is on my IMDb, and actually, I'll let you know.
All right, so World of Warcraft, League of
for
Legends, Phantasy
No, that
Star
was
Online 2,
2016. That was more recent.
Smite.
That was more recent. I think it's either the Urgot rework for League of Legends or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow.
I
Okay,
think
that's pretty awesome.
Huge gigs. Like,
Yeah.
that's really
again, and
cool.
I knew how big. Well, then again, there were something like 1,500 actors on Red Dead 2. So I'm a fraction of it. But it is lovely to know that apparently I did make the top 10 list of weirdest characters in Red Dead 2.
Brilliant.
So really happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend Jake, who's actually the voice of the Sasquatch in the cave, he also made that list.
Amazing.
And he is a lovely Sasquatch in real life too, so that's always cool.
Sean Lork saying, "Ooh, Red Dead 2." Yeah, if you guys were here when we had Wes on Wednesday, he would be very jealous because that's when we sort of asked, "So, what would be the game that you'd like to do that you haven't?" He's like, "Oh, I'd love to be in Red Dead." He gave us even little
He did an
audition piece. Yeah,
as like
that
a
was brilliant.
barkeep or.
But yeah, Tevi,
Yeah, if they ever do a 3, like I cannot imagine, because so many actors were in Red Dead 2, and it took so long to make, but it is so good. If you haven't played it, it is not a fun game. It is very dark and very sad, but it is a fun game to play, and it is one of the most beautifully, fully realized worlds.
Yeah. It's been on my list since before it launched.
yeah, people have been asking for this. We just did this 44. It was supposed to be a month, but it ended up being 44 days of Games Fest. So we played mostly ESO during the day, but then at the end sort of switched to another game. Every day, different game.
Yeah.
And Red Dead was something that people kept asking for. We didn't quite make it. So we were sort of going through, like important games and games we love, so we sort of ran out of time, really. But yeah, I just saw Tevi's got a very fun question.
Before we go to Tevi's question, I think this is very quick. Speaking of weird characters, I just wanted to highlight Benjamin Diskin here, who does this crazy character.
Careful, Walker.
And this is one of Maya's favorite voiceover moments in any game ever.
Oh God! Okay.
We're looking for he's lost his friend in here, Casca, his big kitty friend, and this is a guy who has like a totally normal, deep masculine voice, but he's very good at doing these over the top, a little bit like your Sir Didymus impression earlier, and that's clearly a thing that they get him to do now and again. So here we go.
You seem much calmer now. Casca!
That's it.
Zachi has found you!
Might have been sooner if you hadn't run so far.
Is the most insane outburst ever.
Whoever you
That is so fun. Oh my God.
But yeah, famously, Becky Ignowski said he tends to get everything on the first take. One take Diskin.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah. It's gotta be. But we're very close to the Axeman, by the way. He's just behind the waterfall, funnily enough.
Hey! Yeah, in case you missed it, any game devs, any like burgeoning game devs out there, if you ever make a game and put a waterfall in it, put something behind the goddamn waterfall, even if it's something that says nothing here. Because gamers are going to look behind the goddamn waterfall, and if you don't put something behind it, we're going to be angry with you. We might not stop playing, but we'll want to stop playing.
Oh, you should pull a Nate Perkypile, right? As if Fallout, where you open a door and it just says "fuck off." He put that there. We had him here on stream. He just so that's he's been a Bethesda man for a very long time. He's responsible for some incredible stuff in Fallout, Skyrim, just absolutely fantastic. But he left to make his own games, and he's about to release his third one soon, hopefully, which is like 90s horror with
I've seen
metal
him
music.
80s horror
on
80s
social
horror,
media. Yeah. I think I follow him. What were his
man,
first two games?
The Axis Unseen, which he describes brilliantly, and it's an awesome game, by the way. There's no way anyone would regret getting this thing. The fact that it's created by one guy is astounding in and of itself, but it's also really good. It's called The Axis Unseen, and it is a heavy metal horror hunting game.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that genre, that really popular genre that we keep getting games in? Heavy metal horror hunting game?
Yeah. Like Brutal Legend was the closest, kind of.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm sorry, go ahead, Maya. Yeah, what were the others?
Scored by the lead songwriter from ISIS.
That is very cool, yeah. The band, by the way, not...
Yeah, not Islamic State.
The international terrorist group. Hey, no such thing as bad publicity?
Yeah, he was lovely. We had him here shortly after the release of Axis Unseen. And we did ask him, okay, so give us something from the early days of Bethesda. And he just started talking about poop dates. When they had to, like, empty the septic tank so they basically wouldn't come to work. I was like, not what I expected to hear. But
before they got big, every now and again the plumbing would mess up in their building, and they just wouldn't be able to go into work because it smelled like shit everywhere.
Sure.
Crazy.
Well, I feel like also, when I did the thing with World of Warcraft, and they're saying, like, okay, you're going to be Droman, Krelnor, Wingless Kyrian, Aspirant, Nalthor the Rhinebinder. I was jokingly like, did you ever just call a guy Bob? Just like tuck him behind a tree, and he's the guy who was, I think he was a writer and
Bob
had
tucks
been
behind a tree.
Yeah, this guy's been a writer for like decades, and he was like, I think at some point I probably did, but like with these games that are so massive, like the Fallout games and ESO and all these things, eventually it's like someone's. I'm just going to put a sign behind this door that says "fuck off," and they do it, and I love that kind of thing, And there's so many, like, I have not played Starfield, I have not played ESO, I have played the Fallout games because between, space travel, fantasy, and post-apocalypse is my thing. So just the amount of random stuff that you might never see in that game. I've played Fallout 4 4 times. I've platinumed it. I did good. No, I'm sorry. 4 didn't have the good and bad. 4 had the railroad ending, the Institute ending and had the different factions. Fallout 3 had good, bad, and human. And I remember I was just going around and some dude that looked like RoboCop showed up and started shooting at me with a laser gun. And I killed him and he said, not again. I found nothing else. So I went to the Fallout 4 community thing and I'm like, guy dressed like a robot, not a synth, came at me and like, apparently there's a hint that he might be a time traveler. That's all they have for him.
That's so weird.
Brilliant.
I love it.
The fact that they have this mass, and then, you know, there's people who will never know about the Dunwich Borers or the, you know, the random Lovecraft mission that you can just stumble upon.
Yeah, there's one of those in Oblivion as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, the fact that you have something this big and how easy it would be to phone something in, but instead it's like, let's do something bizarre rather than boring. Again, I'd rather have a 1-star review than a 3-star review.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I hated this. It was so bizarre. Good. You're talking about it.
That's why Metacritic sucks, because all those like things that get 3 stars that are meh, they appear alongside the things which get a whole bunch of 5 stars and 1 stars. Those are the movies I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I will say, a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, I've watched a couple of the 0% movies on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't swear by Rotten Tomatoes. If I want to see a movie, I'll see it, even if it's a 0 or 100 or whatever, but some of those zeros are earned.
Well deserved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's pop back into Tevi's question. So if you could work on any piece of media, which would you choose? Also, if you could work with any voice actor you haven't worked with before, who would you choose? Just 2 questions, but
God.
yeah, there you go.
The first one is it would be a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill or something with Kojima, because those are some of my favorite games and franchises, and just to be a part of that, just to make a ghost noise or you make me a zombie, you know. Those were some of the things that I played and made a massive impression on me when I was a kid. Resident Evil, because they give you a gun and you're not supposed to use it. How mind-blowing is that? So I walk into the first room, I see a zombie, I empty my 7 bullets into it, it doesn't even fall down, and it's like,
uh-oh.
What do I do? I had rented it from Blockbuster Video. I don't think I got 20 minutes past that because I wasn't doing it right. And then you had Silent Hill, which anybody who compares it to Resident Evil is not paying attention. Resident Evil is an evil corporation, pharmaceutical corporation, money, billionaire, bad. Silent Hill is this nightmarish journey through self-loathing and psychosis, and like, that's some pretty mind-blowing shit. And I'm so excited that we're finally getting a Silent Hill 1 remake. And those games specifically, because it wasn't horror. It was survival horror. The fact that that was a thing, that's great. And then my first Metal Gear game was actually Metal Gear Solid 2. And that moment where the computer starts to glitch out towards the end will still stick with me forever. When the Colonel comes on and says, "You've been playing this game for a long time now, you should stop." I got to hang out with him because he's also in a bunch of Bethesda stuff. And, you know, we're all in the chat together. This was for Wes's Voice-A-Palooza recently. And, you know, he's just talking, and I'm like, don't freak out, don't freak out. It's Roy Campbell. Don't freak out, don't freak out. It's the fucking... So I freaked out a little bit because, come on, that guy's legendary. But yeah, so those 3 were kind of the big things, and the fact that they're doing remakes, I am fine with it, because as much as the OG Resident Evil and Silent Hill games are great, the polygons hurt my face. And even though I grew up with tank controls, I do not prefer tank controls. So to see the Silent Hill 2 remake and the RE1 and 2 and 3 remake and 4 remake, I am just so happy there's still a love for these. And to see the evolution of these things is just, it is so good. Keep making the remakes. Keep making new ones, but keep making the remakes.
You just mentioned Voice Up Palooza, that there is someone like, a legend. Yeah. How do you think I felt when Wes invited me to do that shadow thing? When it was like just going through the people? He's a great guy!
And
I know, but I was
he's so cool. But yeah, I'm imagining it was like, oh shit, don't scream, don't scream. Yeah.
When everyone was going through there, I was like, oh my god, that's GLaDOS from Portal. Holy
oh my god.
Shit.
Can I tell you a moment that still blows the back of my head off? At one of the earlier Voice of Paloozas, I think we were doing karaoke, and I don't sing, but I do a version of Shoop by Salt and Pepper as Jeff Goldblum. And so when it came to be my turn, I'm like, I don't really sing, but I can do this. And I did it. And Elaine, the voice of GLaDOS, was like, Paul, because when she's talking, she sounds like the best grade school teacher ever. She doesn't have any of that cold, psychotic roboticness. Yeah. So she went, Paul, that was a wonderful Jeff Goldblum impression. And I was like, GLaDOS! It was the greatest moment of my life. Because, again, from an acting standpoint and from a gamer standpoint, GLaDOS just said I did an amazing Jeff Goldblum. What the fuck is happening?
My little moment
did you get
was
cake?
Yeah, we did cake. We did a little a skit about dungeons in ESO, which I wrote, and I had three people from Wes's voice acting class to voice some of the characters. They were just so up for it. It was brilliant. It's funny. It's incredibly silly. Those were some really, really talented people. And I sent it to Becky Ignowski because we mentioned it to her, and I do a Khajiit in that one. And I was just really proud of it, and Khan edited it beautifully. It's wonderful. And she actually wrote back a feedback thing. This was really good, and that's still a moment. And she said, and your Khajiit is quite good. I was like, oh my God, Becky Ignowski just said that my Khajiit's good.
Yeah, it's, again, I have never gotten feedback from a gig, aside from fans being like, oh, hey, I like this thing. My agents sent me an email after the Zorin session, and my agent Heather was like, I don't really get emails like this, so just sharing this with you. It was DB saying everyone on the dev team for the segment with Zorin was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
He is so good. And it's like, come on, that's ridiculous. The only other time I've gotten feedback, years ago, I did a Tecate beer commercial. And I worked with the production company, Adrenalina, and years later, I worked with them again. And I was like, oh yeah, hey, how did the Tecate thing go over? Oh, they hated it. People actually wrote in and said, yeah, we hate the commercial. It wasn't me that they hated, but they hated the commercial, and it was like, okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a great story now, but back then it's like,
yeah.
Well, no kidding.
I will absorb that. But no, that kind of thing, it still blows my mind. And as far as I cannot think of one voice actor, there's so many ridiculously talented people, just getting to work with them. That's one of the things I actually miss most. I was an actor in the city from 2003 to 2020. The pandemic, it didn't shut down the industry, but it shut down the in-person thing. So a day for me would be I'd get 5 or 6 auditions at 3 or 4 different places, maybe a booking. So I'd get to see other actors who are my friends. I'd get to see engineers and directors and casting directors who are my friends, and they were my coworkers. One of the most amazing things about this job is that I don't have a boss, ever. And even if I have a shitty boss for a 2-hour session for some insurance company, I never get to see them again. Goodbye, you were awful. you're in my life for 2 hours and then you're gone. But so that is something I miss. So getting to just hang out on Zoom for charity things at Wes's thing, it's partly, it's like I'm in a room with giants. This is incredible. And then it's just realizing that while I am not at that level, we have some of the same experiences. Oh, you worked with that director? I've worked with that director. I love that director. Holy shit, I'm having a normal conversation like a human being with this epic person. I'm talking to Snake. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Oh, hey, that's GLaDOS. I'm not shitting myself. That's just GLaDOS. That's great. Do you know, like, I already love Wes and know Wes. I didn't find out until recently that Wes is the voice from the meme sound, the social media, stop, you violated the law. Like, I didn't know that was Wes.
Oh, really?
And now I know him, and it's like, I'm talking to a meme.
He is Oblivion, basically. The remaster, they sort of redid a few of, some of the lines. Otherwise, it would, like you were talking about earlier, he was everyone.
Yeah, and there's something there's something so just ridiculous about this. So I can't put my finger on it. I mean, Alan Tudyk, I love him. I'd love to work with him.
Oh,
Nathan Fillion, I'd love to work with him. David Harbour is incredible. I'd love to work with him. He's not really a voice actor, but he does VO. Patton Oswalt, huge fan of his. Actually, he's not a voice actor. He really is an actor that became a voice actor. I guess he's a comedian who became an actor and a voice actor. But anyway, just all these people, just to be in their presence. Yeah, seriously. Because that's the thing. When you're doing this, you can't not be having fun. Like, I say this in even the most boring, low-paying gig that it's an internal thing for a meeting that no one is ever going to hear, and I'm going to get $150 for it. I could be a tax accountant, guys. I could be teaching math in a high school. I get to talk into a microphone, and someone says, "Here's some money for talking into a mic." That doesn't make sense. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I'm still waiting for the phone to ring and for somebody to be like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to get a job. Like, you're gonna have to get a job. This isn't real." So like every single time I get something, it's like I just recently, so I'm so happy that I'm in ESO, I'm in Starfield. So like those are two of like the triangle of Bethesda open world games. I just recorded for Fallout 76.
No way.
So I am now going to be in the new expansion that is coming out. Hey. I'm part of that now.
That is what gamers would call the trifecta.
That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
I recorded recently for Dune Awakening. That's crazy. Like all these things that are just like, yeah. And if you want to talk about the lore master who loves stuff, Wade, the lore master for Dune Awakening. Oh boy. Like, just the fact that, like, people probably made fun of him for having read all the Dune books. And now people are paying him because he's read all the Dune books.
Genius. And
he's helping to create this new alternate world of Dune. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's see the Shrouded Axeman. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at him.
And then I will do the Shrouded Axeman. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna unmute this so I can hear the Shrouded Axeman.
Yeah. I mean, just before I come out and sneak and aggro the guy. I mean, obviously you know this already. You've heard this already. But the fact that you don't get that much feedback is kind of interesting. I'm not kidding when I say there are a lot of Dremora and Daedra in this game. They get that chorus filter, whatever. I was recently corrected by our friend Eggbirds. It's not a chorus, Khan. You're an idiot. He's a sound guy. He's a musician. Apparently, I'm using this wrong. Apparently, a lot of people use this term wrong. But either way, you know what I mean. That's sort of the doubling of the voice when it makes it sound like it.
Sometimes it's a phaser, or it's like a Doppler, or like a delay. Sometimes, or they'll pitch it down and then sometimes pitch it down again and then have the other voice. But
there is something that Zorin has which these others do not have. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't know what it is. I could try.
I think it's a raggedness to the voice, to the original voice. Because again, I still have that somewhere too. But yeah, it's a raggedness. It's an otherworldliness because they're not humans. They're Daedra.
Yeah.
And that's always something every time. And I'm a little bummed because I had an audition for 3 characters for the new ESO thing, and like, oh, they were so tasty. But here's the thing. Even though I didn't get them, I know whoever did get them is going to do an amazing job because Bethesda casts amazing people. But it's like, But I know whenever the next ESO audition comes around, there's going to be some amazing shit, and I'm going to audition for that, and maybe I'll get it.
Amazing.
But like, oh, yes. Very excited for people to hear these characters, because, the auditions were, anyway. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. You heard it here first, guys. That is the first glimmer of hype we've really had for what's coming next year. They're very tight-lipped about it.
And I probably should. That's the thing. If I go into detail, I'm sure I will immediately be killed. But just.
I mean, they keep saying how it's going to be amazing next year. So.
I mean, as somebody who does not know any of the intricacies of this world, I was excited from the couple paragraphs of bio of these people. Shit, I've said that they're people. They're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
they did tease that there was probably something to do with the Dark Brotherhood coming out.
Yeah.
Do not confirm or deny or anything, but
la 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 la.
Exactly. That involves a lot of stuff which you would be tremendously good at. Obviously, that
I
kind
hope there's more auditions for it. Yes, because those are the I'm happy with my speaking voice. I think this is a good speaking voice, but the joy in getting to play these horrifying monsters, there's something cathartic about it, and this is something that I've had certain characters, and then we can watch me get murdered. There's certain characters like the last phase of the Ascendant Lord, the last phase of a con, where it's like, okay, we've saved this for the end of your 4-hour session. This is you screaming because you're getting sent to hell. This is you getting rent into a billion pieces. This is your soul-tearing scream. And a good director will be like, I trust you. We're going to ask you to do this once. And I do this scream, and everyone gets quiet, and they go, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Because here's the secret. I'm a New Yorker. There is an inherent rage buried deep, sometimes not so deep, but with me buried deep inside all New Yorkers. And I tap into, I'm late, it's the middle of summer, I'm stuck on a train, underground, between stations, and someone has just shit themselves. That is what I bring.
Quite the image.
When you hear the Ascendant Lord dying on fire, when you hear a con, when you hear the death throes, the scream from hell, it is me in my head on that train. Because like I said, I'm almost 7 feet tall. I look like this. I can't start screaming like that on a subway. I will be tased. So I kept it all inside. I keep it in an angry little ball. And then when they're like, Paul, do you think you can give us the soul scream from hell? And I go, yeah, I got this. I can give you 3 in a row if you want. Because I just zoop right back to that moment in my mind and let it all out. So that's therapy for me.
Yeah, that's where you need a New Yorker, not a Brit, right?
No, you need Brits. Because I think Brits have that sort of emotionlessness that they sometimes
they
keep
it
the
up.
restraint, stiff upper lip.
Yeah, maybe
but
so.
It's roiling there too. It's roiling there too.
All right,
it's
folks.
there. Yeah. All right. Yes. So I'm gonna game down and then watch you.
I'm hoping this is gonna be loud enough so that you can hear. But this is Paul, and we didn't even realize this was Paul until tonight. So crazy. I'm locked out. There we go. What an amazing voiceover. but there are so many things about this dungeon which are memorable. It is like a Japanese horror movie. It's all about like the awful, awful things that happened here, and this is one of them. Slow down, see if he says anything else.
For the axeman stew. Hack off each branch and limb. It's time for the axeman's trim.
You know what? I think I'm gonna let him kill me. Let's kill the music. What a noob, dying on normal.
Is how the
Lol. This is Shipwright's regret.
I always loved this guy's voiceover. I thought Zoran's voiceover was singularly interesting and different, and this is long before I realized you had done this stuff, to be fair. So, yeah.
Yeah, when we did the story in this dungeon, I was like, this is one of the most interesting characters in here, and that's just a bonus boss.
1, 2, 3 swings low, bring it down, blow by blow. Split and shoot for the axeman's stew. Hack off each branch and limb. It's time for the axeman's trim.
Man, it's so dark, actually.
Yeah. So I remember this was towards the end of the first. So the very first session was the Ascendant Lord, like the trailer. And the next time we did something, I think this guy was tacked on at the end. And they described him to me and they gave me some of the background. And I think this might have been when they were like, oh, I think we like working with him. So yeah, let me see if I can. Okay. Yeah, so they did not put hardly any effect on this, which is always very gratifying as an actor. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, time to do something I don't know because I couldn't exactly hear him.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, a tiny bit of reverb. That's what's in the game.
Yeah, they put a little bit of reverb. Yeah, exactly. So that is always really cool because some of these characters, I'll come back and see it, and it'll be like, oh, Jesus, that doesn't sound anything like me. Like you pitched it so far down. Yeah. But yeah, so that's always kind of fun, and that actually never hurt my voice. Just the thickening of the voice. I'd like a Big Mac and a Diet Coke, please. Chicken nuggets.
Do you ever call up for a takeaway and like practice, just throw some voices in there?
So my day job from 2003 to 2013, I worked in a really shitty hospital in New York City. I was a switchboard operator because they were too cheap to get a phone tree system. So the upside to this job, where I was literally a body in a chair and it had really good insurance and it was a steady, very small paycheck while I was doing gigs to get my name out there and become an actor. So people would call up and sometimes they would just be incredibly rude. I've never worked in the service industry. I know that's the trope that, every actor has to be a waiter. I couldn't do that because I hate people so much. And your ranch dressing is not as important as you think it is, you motherfucker. Anyway, so
yeah, I used to be a chef. I can relate.
Oh God. Okay, so yeah. So anybody who's ever bless you all for anybody who's ever been in the service industry. Thank you for putting up.
I chose to do it as well. Like you know.
Well, I feel like a chef is a little bit better than like a busboy.
Yeah. Yes.
You're still going to get idiots like, why does this steak taste like meat? And it's like, shut up. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. The amount of stupidity, but because it was such a badly run hospital, all the systems were failing. So when somebody would call, I would be very super polite with my voice actor voice, and if they were shitty or rude, I would just hang up. They would inevitably call back, and they would be shitty or rude, and I would hang up, and I would keep doing it until they were polite or they stopped calling. And the best thing is, because the system was so shitty, eventually people reported me to like the higher ups, and it's like, yeah, your operator keeps hanging up on me. And so the big guy would call me and be like, Paul, I'm getting reports that you're hanging up on people. And I'm like, you know, these phone systems are from like the late 60s. So we need to upgrade our phone system. And here's the thing, as soon as you said you're going to need to put some money into this, oh, I'm sure we can figure out. So I was completely immune. But aside from just trying to teach people manners, I would answer with different voices. Sometimes I was a very helpful Southern gentleman. How can I help you today? Oh, that just sounds awful. Let me see if I could get the doctor for you. If you could just hold on just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, I'll be right back and I'll get somebody for you. And sometimes if I was feeling bitchy and they were giving me an attitude, I would kind of put on like, you know, the New York, like, you know, yeah, I don't know who you looking for? Dr. What? Speak up. I can't hear. I need you to call me back. I'm getting a lot of static on the line. What's the name? Dr. What? Dr. What? I'm sorry. I can't hear you. Ma'am. I loved calling angry men ma'am. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, amazing.
The impotent rage in a man that can't fight you when you're calling him a woman. Oh, so tasty, like butter toffee. So, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to calm down. I'm gonna need you to calm down. Ma'am, click. And then the funny thing is when they would call back, and then I would be the Southern person. Well, I don't know who you spoke to. When did you say you called? Just a moment ago? Well, goodness me. I'll look into that, but who can I help you with? Oh, Dr. So-and-so. Oh, absolutely. Let me just send you right over. Because I hated that job.
I love it.
Oh, it was so much fun. Just and I considered it training. Mocking awful people. Again, you can't do that in the service industry because, you know, you're going to get tased, just like, you know, screaming on the subway. But yeah, so I took those 10 years as a switchboard operator as training. I also read a lot of comic books, and on the night shift, I would, you know, watch Bond movies on my portable DVD player. Back in my day,
that's what I used to have.
A portable, right? And they were great. They would get incredibly hot. Yeah. Did yours get incredibly hot after like 90 minutes? And it's like you had to take the disc out and like kind of put an ice.
Yeah. Fan it.
Yeah, and be like, oh, come on, we got to get through. You know, come on, Octopussy, come on. Yeah, but. So I paid my dues, and I'm happy that I'm here. And I really do hope some of those people were a little more polite, maybe. It did also give me a very strong respect for any time I ever have to call customer service, the very first thing I say is, I know it's not you. I know you did not send my package to the wrong place. I don't blame you. Linda, what's your name? Linda? I know it's not your fault. So I will always treat those people until they're shitty with as much respect as I wish I had been treated with.
Yeah.
So
the world is a better place.
Agreed, yeah.
Right? Maybe if just that one person, or maybe that person hung up on me and was like, I can't believe this asshole, he was so rude to me. And then maybe one of his friends is like, well, were you rude to him? And then maybe there's like, you know, a wistful moment, he looks off and a tear rolls down. Or maybe he's like, no, fuck that guy. So I don't know.
I used to have this game with like delivery companies because I used to run a cookery school, so we'd have loads of stuff coming in all the time. And yeah, there was one guy who was always so pissy. And I just, so I thought, okay, I'll play this thing. I'm going to make that dude smile. Like, just be
nice.
super
Kill him with
polite.
kindness. Yeah.
And eventually, yeah, he would come in with a smile, but it took weeks.
I don't understand it. You know, I get
break
it.
him
Everybody,
like a horse, right?
yeah, just whip him with smiles. Yeah, I don't get it. You know, people, I do.
You're
get
making
it.
your own day
Life's
shitter by
That's
being
the thing.
rude.
Yeah.
No, just
Everything is an experience, man. You know, just because your Starbucks order was wrong doesn't mean you have to take that to your next location.
yeah.
You know.
Really? You really like making fun of people? Really? You're really not a decent person? I looked up to you for real.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you're a piece of shit then. Fuck off. There's so many pieces of shit. So
Yeah.
I don't need you in my life. That's another thing that you learn to embrace. You don't have to deal with these pieces of shit, you know? It's a great feeling. Just fuck off. Like the door in Fallout, you open it up. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used to very briefly work in sort of retail, and people sometimes would come in just to make themselves feel better by being a shit to you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I was just like, I have to be polite, I have to be lovely, but I'm just going to turn it way up just to make them feel a little bit shitter.
Yeah.
Because,
I think all of that boils down to those people have so little authorship in their lives that they need to have some sort of effect on someone, whether it's positive or negative, and it's so much easier to be negative.
It is,
It's so much easier, especially you have to be there for 8 hours a day, so I'm just going to just piss on your feet a little bit. Then they're going to walk out and feel like they've actually, what? Congratulations. You're awful.
My friend is married to, and this is like one of my nicest friends. He's such a lovely guy, but he's married to a woman who loves to take out stuff on the server or the doorman or the bouncer or whatever. And
what's her name? Let's call her out right now on the internet.
I'm not going to do it. But my friend knows. He knows. We've teased him about it. But it fucking sucks because you don't want to make a scene with her and like make her feel like on the defensive and then like
nothing
ruin
is
the
worse
hang.
than
But
to
it
be
sucks.
sitting next to that person and then it's like you could have just asked them politely to like put some ice in it. Like they didn't do it intentionally. Like, oh man. Yeah, that.
Oh gosh, I just noticed we have 3 minutes left on our slot.
God.
Those 3 hours flew by.
It did. This is always fun.
Pucking, I guess you're not kidding, but no, what we're actually saying is when somebody's horrible, rude, you just turn it into a joke, bit of fun. I think that's actually the healthy thing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a job where people sometimes just choose to be dicks to you. That is just the way it is because they just want to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or set them on fire. Again, like, I'm not going to say what's right or what's wrong. If anybody does visit my channel, my raid message is a disclaimer that says, Mr. Charisma is not responsible for any stupid advice that he gives you. Following life advice could lead to divorce or death or whatever. But it's an important thing to understand that I will give you the worst advice sometimes. And if you follow it, that is on you.
Hey, Paul.
Well, that's fair enough, yeah.
More on fire.
Yeah. Can you be Moa on fire? Yes, I can.
That's just, that's quite a brilliant, yeah. Well, anyway, wow. I thank you so much for hanging out.
This was magical, absolutely.
Sharing. It was amazing.
Yeah,
and hey, we're gonna be doing like horror streams. So two questions. A, what game would you recommend we try on Scream? Stream, and I will scream.
Stream. Yeah, I mean, Silent Hill 2 is it's the best story I've ever encountered in a horror game. The design, the voice acting, it's really incredible. And you don't need to have played Silent Hill 1. Silent Hill 2 can be its own thing. Yeah, you know, I'll say that. It's a great place to start. And then when they remake Silent Hill, then you can jump into that as well. But it's incredible. The music, the sense of dread. Yeah. The enemy design. Yeah.
That's on the list now. Yeah, love it. Also, if around Halloween you want to team up with some Phasmo, let's go. I will be hiding in a cupboard, just a disclaimer.
I'm gonna be in Florida, which is awful, but I am playing Phasmo regularly. So yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to. I do have a Discord if you want to jump in, and every once in a while I'll just play Phasmo. My wife and I have been playing it together, and she's amazing at this because she was also a researcher at the Associated Press. So her research ability kicks in, and it's like, okay, here's why I think it's an Obake, and she'll break down all the. It's a match made in heaven.
Let's have a double date.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Wow. Mr. X Cobra, thank you so much for the sub there. Really appreciate it. Sean LaRock saying, always a distinct pleasure, Paul. The Reno, keep killing it, Paul. Yeah, if you, let me just do a quick shouty there. If you're not following Paul, there you go. There's a link to his Twitch. Do follow, do support, do all the good things, right?
Speaking of horror games,
and also,
look at that.
Because I should mention this, I'm a voice actor. That is what I do. All my proceeds from on my streams go to the Trevor Project. I don't. Yeah, that's all the Trevor Project because I feel like the Trevor Project, the LGBTQIA community needs a little extra help. And even though I don't have a huge community, that's who we're streaming for. So
it's amazing. Thank you. Well, let's change that. So if you guys are here, go and follow Paul or Mr. Charisma right now. You heard where the proceeds go. That's amazing. Thank you. And thank you so much for being with us. There's really saying Paul is such a delight, right? I know. I'm so fucking lucky. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you enjoyed the presence and the charisma of Mr. Charisma, Paul Guyette today, please consider throwing $1, $2, $3, whatever. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of the American Heart Association. That is what this stream and what this raid train is for. So although the drops are fantastic and the presence of Paul and Wes Johnson and all of that stuff is wonderful, we're so lucky. That is the goal here, to raise a little bit more money.
And if you want to think of it as donating to the American Heart ass.
Yeah, anything works.
Yeah, get up in there.
Hey, $1's a dollar. Yeah, get up in there. Let's get up in there for charity.
Hey, yes.
Get up in them guts.
Wolfsfight, Jesus. Wolfsfight Rose saying, Rudy agreed. Okay. Redgate now following Paul. Yeah, if you're not following Paul, go and fix that. Okay, I'm going to share that.
It's going to be weird.
Okay, well, we are going to raid off to the wonderful Sirantakuhi for some more ESO funsies, so don't go anywhere. Do stay on the train. It's still in ESO. You still get your drops. Thank you for everyone for hanging out. It has now been a 10-hour stream, so thank you for your company, everyone.
Wonderful. You guys are the best.
Thank you, guys.
I actually forgot to do the raiding thing.
Oh, that means we've got another 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Nice.
Sirantakuhi. There she is. She's fun. She's really, really fun. So stick around. That's not my...
How you doing there, Maya?
Oh, sorry. Oh my god, I'm being so slow today. Crikey.
We opened with a conversation about technical issues and stuff,
This is just brain lag. That's all it is.
Well, thank you again, guys.
Thank you. Make a noise in Tax channel and let's go and say hello. Thank you so much for everyone for hanging out. Thank you, Paul. You're a legend.
Absolutely.
And we've raided off.
Woot.